Hello, friends. Happy Friday. I had a lot to talk about, so sometimes it's just easier for me to get on live. Um, I need to clear up storage in my phone so I can record at a um, better rate. So hopefully all that's resolved next week. I gave myself a little to-do list. But I want to talk about what's transpired since I went live on Sunday, like how my week went, what things it triggered, how I'm noticing different patterns throughout my life where God met me in that trigger in this week. Because in the live, he was saying, well, he was reminding us, and I was telling y'all, I didn't realize that my healing was coming through actually like letting it trigger me to the other side. So this week, when I noticed I was upset or triggered, um, I would really be like, okay, God, why does this bother me so much? Like, please help me figure out why this bothers me so much. And he was very faithful in answering that, showing me that. I'm not saying that the next, times it happens, I won't feel triggered, but I'm really working on like my side of things. Like I feel like once you go through stuff for so long or enough times, or you realize, like I'm saying, the patterns, you realize the tactics keep on, um, you have to change. And so for me, it was like I had a lot of irritation this week, and it didn't start until after I made the live and Sunday going into Monday, I had to be at work. I was like, why am I so irritated? I'm still drinking coffee, so it can't be caffeine withdrawal because that will do it to you. I was like, why am I so irritated? I was like, is somebody trying to irritate me and I'm falling for a God? Like my patience felt very thin, very low. Like, and for me, like now that I've exited out of the week, I've got great sleep. I feel like that irritation was a sign to me. Like, why is this irritating you? Like, I feel like it was also a irritation with myself to the extent of like, I don't want this stuff to irritate me anymore because it's obviously not stopping. You know what I'm saying? So it was like me even being irritated with myself that I'm allowing this same stuff to keep irritating me. Does that make sense? Like that's what this week felt like. Even today, like every day it was like um texting my mom and my sister, like this happened, this happened. I'm like, maybe I'm tripping, like, or was this just a week of trying me? Like I was like, what's going on? And I couldn't really be surprised because I had prayed Sunday after the live because I've noticed patterns. I have great pattern recognition. I have noticed when I go live and I talk about stuff on Sunday, and sometimes it's stuff that I don't even know I'm gonna be talking about, or I'm not even prepared to be talking about. It's like God was giving me the answers before the test. So I'll go through the week and I'll keep thinking about the stuff I said in the live I made on the Sunday. And I'm like, so my spirit knew that was coming. He was warning me that that was coming. And that happened literally all week. So I was trying not to be mad that I was triggered. I do notice my growth. Like I'm not triggered and just irate. Um, I was tempted a little bit, this week to act out of character. And I always thank God that He keeps me in character. And I had told my dad on Sunday, because at first we thought, okay, Sunday was a Super Bowl. I'm trying to remember everything. Went to church, went live. It was a Super Bowl. I didn't go to sleep at the time I normally go to sleep. Sometimes that does make me mad because I've really been in a routine. And I thought I was just irritated Monday because I was still sleepy. Like I was like, but I shouldn't be sleepy because I didn't go to the gym. Like I was confused. But I had told my dad Sunday because we were talking about something. And when I left and I was telling him buying stuff, I was like, Dad, don't worry, I ain't gonna cuss nobody out of work this week. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. But was I tempted to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? I was. I was like, dang, it's like we knew. I don't know, but he was telling me, like Megan, it's not worth all that. Like he was trying to tell me all that Sunday. But what we were talking about was about something particular. And I can't say that that necessarily happened. I feel like things that kind of ruffled it, did happen. But what me and him were talking about didn't happen. So it was a very interesting week. In addition to the stuff that actually happened, he's been highlighting something to me that I'm like, okay, I think somebody needs this because me and him been like talking about it. I had certain dreams the beginning of 2025. It's 2026, yeah. I had dreams at the beginning of 2025 about fake friends. I had dreams the recent months about it again, which was reminding me of those dreams. And then as of lately, he's reminded me of recurring dreams that I had over the years. Now, I always find that very interesting because it'll be like sometimes you don't even remember you've had a certain dream multiple times. Sometimes you'll just remember it, like you'll wake up and you'll actually remember what you dreamt that night. And it'll be like, oh, wait, I've dreamt this multiple times and I'm just not remembering it now. Like, that's crazy. And so he was reminding me of this recurring dream I had about fake friends. And I just, I've been praying for humility because it's very easy to just, be like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And I was tempted to call folks losers this week. Um, let them know they was being weird. I don't like being picked at. Like, nobody's able to bully me no more, but I don't even like the picking. And so I'm like, you trying to get some type of reaction out of me. You're trying to get my attention, like, but I'm understanding it's because of who I am. So it's like understanding who I am, but also being humble and gracious. And honestly, y'all, something me and God keep talking about, being respectful to people when they're not respecting you. Like, and it's been like that my whole life. I don't think I'm a disrespectful person. Now, do I think that in instances where I was being really disrespected, I got disrespectful back? Absolutely. Can my mouth get disrespectful? Absolutely. But I don't just wake up and I'm just a disrespectful person. You get what I'm saying? And so me and God have been talking about that. I rewatched my video about queen status. He's been talking to me about royalty a lot. And when you just look at people who you really admire and look up to, if you're like me, like they just conduct themselves at a certain way. And so even though my whole life, like I told you, I've always had the conduct, God told me I had good character, I feel like he's really like, we're going to take that up a notch now. And the way he's testing me and preparing me for different things is like, I don't want to deal with this. Like that's the conversations me and God been having. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And I know it's only going to be more of this the more I elevate. And he like I know he be there for me, obviously. Like when I'm frustrated at my desk, when I'm frustrated wherever, he like coached me through it, like breathe. I go vent to my mom and them. But it's like I feel like sometimes you just get tired of stuff. And that's why this week it was really like, Megan is not going to stop. Like when on this journey in our process of like realizing like the hate is not going to stop, this don't really feel like hate. It feels childish and it's been irritating me. Like the word I used a lot this week was immaturity when it came to grown men in the office. Immature. And when I was complaining to my dad about it, so this would have been probably Monday night. So like they started bright and early on Monday. And I was telling my dad, and he was like, look, like men don't grow up. He was like, sometimes I still feel I'm like, Dad, shut up. He's like, I'm serious. Like they don't grow up like how you think. And then I kept seeing all this stuff on the internet, and women was talking about that all week. And somebody who I love dearly, who is married, she was like, look, men are weird. None of them are exempt. And I was laughing because I know there's like gender just differences. Like men may not understand that about women, women may not understand that about men. But honestly, I don't care. Like you should still be able to show me respect. And so in the office is hard because I'm the like youngest one in there next to these two. It's actually two younger boys, and I show them respect, and they're younger than me. And sometimes I feel like they show them respect, but so it's not an age thing; it's a woman thing. And then you tie in I'm young, a woman, and black. Like it gets real interesting in there. And I'm like, this is crazy because I don't understand why y'all think y'all can come in here and pick at me. And so when I said something back, it became a whole different type of problem. And I was like, let me be quiet because I don't even know what the rules are like at work for, like standing up for yourself, saying whatever. And I think about my mentors at work, and they don't be having it. Like, and when the week started, I'm sorry, y'all, keep going through a lot of stuff. When the week started, that's how I knew something was happening, because it was like, I'm not in the mood. I don't got time. I'm not going for it. Like, y'all not talk like in the spirit. Like, something that happened like the holiday season, Morgan was spending the night. I was asleep. And I woke up and I was just mad. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, why am I mad? Like, I didn't understand. That's what I'm telling you. Like, me being irritated, I was like, okay. I even asked God, like, am I irritated because Valentine's Day is coming up? Like, why am I irritated? Like, I couldn't figure out why I was irritated. It wasn't coffee. It wasn't that. But anyways, I'm sharing this story because it goes back to what happened this week. Just figured that out today on Friday. But I woke up mad and I was like, why am I mad? This is crazy. And then y'all know I got another phone and I don't check that phone. Like, I check that once or twice a week. And nobody can really reach me on my real phone. Only like a few people have the new number. So I woke up, or maybe Morgan wasn't here. She might have been here earlier that day. But I woke up and Morgan was like, did you see the messages? And I was like, what messages? And she was like, oh, you gotta check your other phone. Lo and behold, being extra, being dramatic, targeted right at us. And I was like, that's why I woke up mad. Like, I felt that. Like, I may not see what's going on in the spirit, and it may not even necessarily be the spirit. In this instance, I just was not there, but I felt it. Even though it's happening in the physical, I felt it. Like, my gifts are like that. And Morgan was like, that's probably why he was mad, because they were doing like what they normally do, running with a false narrative, the same stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and with them, I figured it out. Like, I've learned to just ignore it, not deal with it, remove myself from it. That's what works, because it was not going to stop. So with other areas, I'm having to figure that out. Like, it's not going to stop. So what are you going to do to where you can handle it? But anyways, me and Morgan realized, like, no, like, that's just your gifts. Like, and I had woke up, I was mad, and I was cussing folks out in my head. Like, in this, I don't want to say in the spirit, but it's like, what dialogue am I having? Like, who am I talking to? Like, you know how I be telling you I be walking around the house and I just be saying stuff out loud? Like, who am I talking to? I've never understood that. I've been like that, and it's been more like that since I've been in the house, but I'm realizing that's my gifts. Like, my spirit, even though I can't see because I'm awake and I'm in the physical, like, my spirit is very aware of what's going on in the spirit or somewhere else because of the Holy Spirit. And so my being is like, what I'm saying out loud, what I'm doing, like, it's in response to that. I didn't know that. All week, I've been irritated, and I could see the stuff, and I knew what was going on at work in person. And so at that point, I started praying, because I was like, God, well, whatever anybody is up to, whatever they're trying to do, like, I was just praying against it. Today, I saw a message that I got on Wednesday. It's Friday. I didn't see that message. I didn't see it Wednesday. I didn't know that person had sent it when they had tried to speak to me Thursday. Like, I don't play these games. Like, when the week started and I was like, not going for it, not dealing with it, not in the mood. Like, it's games. I feel like people still think I'm finna play with them, and I'm not playing them games. Like, if you remind me of any of my toxic family that I cut off this year, and it took me 30 years to get to a point where I cut them off like that, or I set them boundaries with them like that, you out of here. Like, you not that same spirit not welcome in my life through another person. And you have to realize that. And so at work this week, that's why I was getting so bothered and triggered, because it was those same spirits, those same things I've been dealing with, but it was just happening people at work. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I've had a break from y'all. Like, I don't really want to deal with this. In addition to what's still going on in the world, I'm naturally irritated just because of what's going on in the world. Like, I feel that. Even if, and I told y'all, sometimes I ask God, like, okay, show me what's going on, because I'm obviously bothered prophetically. Show me what's going on, and I know how to pray. But in this instance, he ain't really had to show me nothing crazy, because everything that's going on, it's in the news. Like, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. He don't have to show me. It's stuff that I was looking into years ago. You know what I was thinking about today? When I lived with my mom and them for that little bit after college, I had already looked into, researched, got on YouTube, saw all the videos about all the stuff. And I remember it was like days. I was in my room in my mom's house, just crying, because I was like, I cannot believe they do this to kids. I cannot believe this is going on and people don't know. I cannot believe, like, I remember that. That was years ago. And so I'm not having that, like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. Like other people, like, I been knew this was a real thing. I've been had this grievance burden on my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna naturally be irritated about that. I will also say, usually when it's a lot of child abuse, child sexual abuse, child trafficking, all that stuff, when there's a lot of that going on in the news or on the internet, because it's also this story circulating on Facebook, and I don't know if y'all seen it where y'all live, but it's this pastor who obviously with some other stuff, and the little boy spoke up about being abused, and now they're making him go back and apologize for it. Like, what? But anyways, usually when I see a lot of that, I'm naturally triggered because of my own experiences, right? But I'm noticing over time, I don't get as triggered. Like, it don't trigger me back to my own abuse, although I might think about it, right? But it doesn't make me like spiral out of control. I think I need to go to therapy because I went through my cycle of that. I went through my healing. You know, you get what I'm saying? So I'm naturally gonna feel a level of irritation, and I'm gonna be praying more. God was waking me up like clockwork this week. Like, how you got me on this watch and I gotta get up and go to work, God? But it's actually kind of working out now because I get to go to the gym so early. So not really tripping. Like, I was up at 3 every night. One night I even heard him like wake me up. And I was like, okay, this is different. And I just started praying and I fall asleep praying. And so I feel like I be pulled in a whole bunch of different directions. I be trying to do what I'm supposed to do spiritually. I be trying to do what I'm supposed to do in the real world. But I'm proud of myself too, though, y'all, because I had a suspense date for yesterday at work for my first major accomplishment. I've had accomplishments since I've been there, but this is a big accomplishment. And I met it yesterday. That's why I took half a day off, and I was like, I'll see y'all Tuesday. Like, I've been busting my butt. So I'm at work going hard. I'm still up praying spiritually like I'm supposed to be doing. I'm still trying to take care of myself, pour into myself, focus on my healing, still trying to be consistent with content. Instagram was like, congratulations, you've been consistent the last 14 weeks. What? Oh my gosh, thank you. Like, I wasn't even keeping up with that, but thank you. So like, it's been a lot going on, and I'm not used to having so many things moving at once, and I'm actually feel like I'm like afloat. You get what I'm saying? And so the people at work, let's go back. And I was saying in my post I wrote earlier in the week, I've gone from like sad, like people just hate me, like it must be something wrong with me, um, just like heartbroken, to angry, which I feel like was last year. I was just mad. Like everybody got in my face before I cuss you out. Or we actually fight, which I don't even fight, but I felt that angry last year. To now is more so irritated and annoyance because it's like I said, it was a bunch of childish behavior. It was a bunch of immature behavior. Y'all, I work with kids on Sunday, only on Sunday. So once you start giving like childish at that level, I'm like, I can't do this. I hold all adults accountable, all adults. And to me, an adult is probably like after college because you know what I'm saying? But I hold all adults accountable. But when you are older than me, when you are a man, your immaturity and your childish ways and you picking at me, you bother me, you going out your way to bother me, that really irritates me. So I've gone from sad, angry to irritated. And so this week I didn't know what to do with the irritation. So they know I'm working. They know I have this deadline. No, people at work don't know what I'm doing outside of work, but that doesn't matter because something else we were talking about, um, I feel like you shouldn't have to know, like, oh, they have a lot going on, to treat people with respect, to treat people with human decency. You should do that regardless. Like whether I got a lot going on or I don't have nothing going on, you should still be able to treat me with respect because I treat you with respect regardless. I don't need to know, oh, you got something going on. If anything, once I do find out that you do have something going on, I'm gonna be even more. No, I ain't gonna be even more respectful because I'm always respectful. I'm probably gonna be even more. I don't know the right word, but I don't have to know nobody going through nothing to treat them with basic respect, human decency. So they know I'm working towards this deadline. I was telling my mom the last couple of weeks, like, this man at work keep being in my dreams and it's bothering me tremendously because I felt like he was pulling on my energy and I didn't know how he was doing that. And so I started praying against that specifically. Once I started praying against that specifically, and this is how I know I'm one of God's favorites. And I know he don't play favorites, but I mean, favor ain't fair. But once I was genuinely like praying about it, God was showing me what he had going on behind the scenes. And I feel like God was showing me that so that I would be able to maybe give him more grace. I don't know if that's the word, but bright and early, as soon as I come in, been picking at me the last weeks. And I know for me, once a man starts irritating me a lot or bothering me a lot, because if I ever feel like I need to go tell my daddy, or if I ever feel like I need to go tell a particular man that I know don't play about me, you doing too much, because now we got to bring them into this, and I don't really want to bring them into this. And so that's something else I'm working on, because I want to be able to handle minute things, and it may not feel minute to you if you're being triggered. And that's what I figured out this week. Like, this really isn't that big of a deal, like the actual physical thing, but because I see and feel the spiritual thing, and I was introduced to this at a very young age, I already know what I'm dealing with. So the others, it may look like this, but I'm not others. I see what the spirit is behind it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so I want to be able to handle things without it being I'm gonna tell my daddy, or I'm gonna tell my man. Like, even though I'm absolutely going to tell God and Jesus, regardless, me and God gonna talk about it. We're gonna pray about it before I go to sleep. But I don't want it to be a thing where I've made videos. It was like, you got to be able to handle yourself. You got to be able to take care of yourself. And that's not to negate the protection element that comes in from the men in your life. That's not what I'm saying. But I want them to know I can hold my own. And so, another segue, kind of off topic. I don't know if y'all watched His and Hers. That's not really what this is about. But I had started it. And then I was going to watch an episode Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But they had worked my nerves so bad at work on Monday. I was like, I can't watch no His and Hers. Like, I felt like I needed to really lock in and figure out why the stuff that was going on at work was bothering me. And then also being in a position of, I went through so much at that last job, and I know how men act. And then also bringing in the racial element of it. But like, I'll be darned if that's going to happen again. Just like I told y'all with the girl that was being weird, and we're going to come back to that too. But I know the warning signs. Like, I know the beginning stages. I know you trying to see how far you can take it with me. And I need you to know you're not taking it nowhere. Like, we're not playing these games. Like, that's where I was at on definitely Tuesday afternoon. Like, because what's not gonna happen is it's gonna grow into a whole situation that I just had to leave from. Like, I already know how these things start off. It starts off you doing this. It starts off you doing this. You trying to see if I got boundaries. You trying to see if I'm gonna speak up for myself. You see that I don't. You see that I struggle with that. And now you want to keep on, which brings me to another point. So we'll come back to this. But I couldn't watch his and hers, his or her, whatever it was called, because I just knew like something was going on with me. And I'm sensitive enough to know that. You get what I'm saying? And so I felt like it was okay for me to watch Agent Carter. Y'all know I love Marvel. I was like, I don't think this is gonna take my mind too much. I keep falling asleep on the first episode, but I knew what God was trying to tell me. It would probably be in there. That's how me and his relationship is. Like, I was like, okay, so I feel right like watching Agent Carter. I didn't feel like His and Hers is gonna help me at all. But I put it on Agent Carter, and if y'all don't know, that's the one that was with Steve Rogers, and she got 2 seasons. I was like, dang, that's crazy. The first 5 minutes is what I was dealing with at work. I was like, and that's probably why I fell asleep when I can't get through the first episode, because I'm like, this is what I needed. But they're picking at her. Men will do all that. That's why I have put Pretty Problems on there, partially because they're attracted to you. And so they don't know how to speak to you. I'm 31. We're not 7. You don't get to come in here and pick at me, bother me because you think I'm cute. Be like the other men. Say I look nice today and keep it moving. Don't come over here and find a reason to bother me every 5 seconds, every hour. And you know I got a suspense. And you know I'm working on an important task. Like, why are you doing that? So they were doing that to Peggy. They do like the weird like cat calling. They try to play her like she's a secretary, don't respect her as an agent because she is a woman. Exactly. They got you doing all this other stuff. And when I started that job, I don't really mind it that much because I am very organized and I do have very good secretary like skills. I'm very helpful. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I am, and I'm able to juggle everything I got going on and also still tell the people that I work up under or whatever, like, hey, so and so was asking about this, and keep up with little stuff like that. That's just how I am. And I think I'm like that though because of my dad, which makes more sense to me. Like, so I naturally have these traits, But sometimes when you like that, and you got to be careful not to assume that position and assume that role, because that's how they'll do you. So anyways, they were doing all that to her. They just wanted her to answer the phones, make the coffee, keep her out of the loop on things, say sideways stuff to her, and they low-key insinuated she was a hoe. I was thinking about so many different things. Like one of my last leads at my last job that I left, I remember he came to my desk one day and he was like, "What you doing, texting all your boyfriends?" What? Why would you say that to me? Why do you think I got a whole bunch of boyfriends? And why do you think that's appropriate to say to me? Now, I understand, like I said, when men be attracted to you, they don't really know what to say. Like, but, Like, I was going through so much at the other job, and now I know, like, stuff like that is not appropriate, and I should say something. I can't keep he and laughing it off. I was telling my mama, sometimes I be making jokes, and I'm like, was that racist? I don't even know. And so, like, I don't even laugh no more because I'm like, I don't want to encourage stupidity. But anyways, first immaturity and ignorance, but first and insecurity. That's the other word. First 5 minutes in the show, one of the men stood up for her, but he was like disabled, and so they weren't really scared of him or respected him either as a man. So you got all these normal looking functioning men, and they mean to the man that's disabled, mean to the woman in the office. Like I had made a Facebook post, and I was like, a man that has the spiritual and emotional maturity of a 6-year-old is not going to dominate me in any situation. And that's how I be feeling. Like, y'all not the man God left in charge. And we can make it a girl talk, because I talked about all these things this week. My one ex who always told me I was not submissive. Like, you think because you're a man physically, you're grown, you're not in like no adolescent body. You think just because of that, I'm supposed to listen to you and submit to you. And I'm not. Like, and if that's like, I'm not. And I did give him that energy because he didn't act like a man. You act like a child. And in what reality did God tell me to submit to a child? And I'm a grown woman. I'm mature. I act like a grown woman for the majority of the time. You get what I'm saying? So the main men screaming like, you're not submissive, you're not this, and they want to just come in the office, come in the church, wherever it is, they want to just dominate you. Because no, you don't got no spiritual authority. Actually, you might have a position at this church, a position at this office, but you really childish. You don't know how to behave. That's not going to, and y'all, when we look at the world, like, I was on Facebook and I was scrolling, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, how do these people get in these positions? Who put you here? Who let you sit here? And I know God allows some people to get in some positions because it's supposed to teach us stuff. But I'm like, you are not the type of man God was telling me to submit to. I know you're not. You are a child in the head, in the heart, in the mind. You are a child. But anyways, my ex was always telling me that I wasn't submissive because I don't have those problems with men who act like men. A man who act like a man ain't never told me that. It was always these little boys that want you to listen to them. He wanted my money. Ladies, tax season is upon us. Only ex I ever been with that asked for my tax refund. No. You such a man, you want me to submit to you and respect you? You make some money then. You're not taking mine to go play around with and make bad decisions. We're not doing that. So now I'm not submissive? No. And you cheat nonstop. Nonstop. I'm not listening to you. I'm not doing it, sir. So all that stuff was coming up. I just recently had that conversation with my dad. I was like, you want to know something? Because at one point he was telling me like, well, you know this and this and this. I'm like, Dad, I'm not listening to nothing you say about any of that no more. Because my only ex that ever told me I was not submissive was a man not worth like leading a thing. He couldn't even lead himself. Why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to you? And so at work, it low-key be giving the same energy. So they told me that I was not logical at work this week. So I'm literally watching Agent Carter, and I'm watching how they treat her. The man sticks up for her, and she was like, I don't need you to do that. And I was like, dang, why she said that? Kept watching. And she was like, anything these adolescent men throw at me, I'm capable of handling. She's a much better agent than all the men that she works for, which is how she ends up going on. They start shielding all that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, but the fact of the matter was she called them adolescents. And I was like, exactly. And God has already been talking to me about immaturity. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, I knew it. And so they told me I wasn't logical. They didn't respect what I was saying. They didn't respect my boundary. And it took everything in me to not like snap. Like, I got up and I went to the car because I was like, did they just call me stupid? Like, because I told the man that I was like, just because you don't understand what I'm saying does not mean you're right and I'm illogical. How you gonna sit up here and tell me that? I was like, that's fine. Went to the car. Woo saw it. bent it to my mom, my sister, prayed to God about it. But it was like when they saw that they bothered me this week, they kept on. So every day when I walked into work, and this is how a hostile environment will be created. Once you see, I gotta keep this finger up so I don't forget what I was gonna say. Once you see that you have ability to negatively impact or influence somebody's emotions or feelings or whatever, a certain type of person, which is gonna bring me back to this point. Once you see you're able to do that, get a reaction out of them, that encourages them to keep on, to keep on, to keep on. And so my mom was trying to tell me what to do. And I was like, watch this. And once I start saying, watch this, I know something's fixing to change. And so by the time I went in the office on Tuesday and Wednesday, when they came over to pick, I ignored them. So now you're hurt and you're in your feelings because I'm talking to everybody else that has sense and who acts like a mature man. And you don't act like that when the boss is over here, which I find very interesting. Y'all only do that when he's not around. You perceive nobody in this office is looking out for me, have my back, paying attention to how y'all are treating me, what you're saying, all these things. And that's cool. Watch this. And now your feelings are hurt because I'm not speaking to you. Maybe try a different approach. I'm cool, friendly, sweet with everybody until you show me like you don't even need to see or to get that side of me. So that was fixed real quick. By the time we got to yesterday morning, yeah, I don't want to hear nothing else. So I'm proud of myself because it's like, okay, I'm figuring that out. You set the boundaries, you don't entertain it. And it's just like with children. Like, and I keep seeing on the internet, I don't want to forget this point. I keep seeing on the internet people's kids like beating them up, abusing them. And it's not just the instance with the lady that has the autistic son. I saw multiple, what side is this? I saw multiple videos where the children was dominating the parent. Huh? What? Come again? But that's how children act. My kids do that in children's church. Like, if I can get a reaction out of her, I'm going to keep on. If it makes the other kids laugh, which is what happened at work too. One of the men came over, he made a joke, and I gave him a look, and I told my mom if looks could kill, because I know I gave him one that could that day, right? And the man that's usually over there heckling me, and I told my boss that they had been heckling me. But I said it with a smile on my face, so I don't think they was taking it serious. If you look up the definition of heckling, it's harassment. And when I told my mom what was happening, she was like, Megan, that's harassment. I know. Like, y'all think I'm kidding. It's something every day. Like, these are really pretty problems. I can't mind my business in peace. I love that little baby, so I wake up every day, somebody harassing me. It's no matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter. I take breaks from the internet. Don't go to church every Sunday at that. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a problem. It's still a problem. So I was like, God was already showing me that I was about to try to do that, and I gotta go ahead and figure this out so that they don't do that. And so you got to know you're dealing with children. But he came over that day, and his little buddy that had been heckling me wasn't over there, and he cracked a joke. And so it's like it's two childish men and it's two grown men. I noticed last week one of them was acting like a child. He got upset. He threw his headphones and started cussing. And I was like, and it actually reminded me of my cousin that I cut off and blocked. He's been like that our whole life. Like, no type of grip, no emotional grip, nothing. Like, you're just a bad child. I don't know how you're this old and you still act like a bad child. That throws me off. When he did that, I noticed the other man I sit beside, and he's retired military, so that might be why he acts differently than them, but he ignored it. And I'm like, okay. And he does it for attention. Like, he wants somebody to be like, oh, what's wrong? And I finally figured that out. Like, it took me a couple weeks to figure that out. But then once it was like everybody was ignoring him, now he's picking at me. So I come in the office and everybody, the joke is like, it's this one man at work. And sometimes it really is, you gotta discern the spirit behind it. Cause I got relationships with men at work, and it's like we do pick at each other in the mornings, but it's not like for real. It's not to really aggravate you, agitate you, disrespect. It's not like that. Like, that's just how it is. So one of the leads, every morning when he sees me, I'm like, good morning. And he's like, why are you always smiling when you come in here? What's so good about the morning? Like, he has like this little Grinch act. And then he'll laugh and he'll be like, good morning, Megan. Are you having a good day? Like, it's a joke. That is a joke. That is a joke. That is picking and joking. You know what I'm saying? And then there's another man, and we go back and forth all the time. Like, people be like, are they for, like, we're totally kidding. Like, this is just how we talk to each other. But This man is not like that. And so everybody knows I come in, I'm bubbly. Even this week, this one man, when I was walking down the hallway, he's never talked to me. He was like, hey, like, you must really like your job. Like, what do they have you doing? And I was like, what? And he was like, every time I see you, you smiling. Like, they must pay you good. And I was like, no, it's the Lord. And he started laughing. He was like, amen. I'm like, right. Like, everybody knows that in that office about me. Always happy. Some people come to my desk just because they know I'm happy. They in a bad mood. They come to my desk to talk to me. Right. I'm even low key the chaplain at work. And I didn't even mean to do that on purpose, but I ended up praying like when I first got over there. And now when we do a function, they be looking for me to pray. Like everybody knows that's who I am, except for the people. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Like it's just some stuff we got to get used to. And I know I said that on the live. Like my daddy said, it's always going to be a third. And I think that's why God was showing me that man's business, which I'm not going to tell y'all that man's business, but it's some people in the office that hate me because of that. Because everybody knows it. I come in 7 o'clock with a smile on my face that no man in the world gave to me. And I made a decision this year. No man in the world can take that from me. You having family problems, you having these issues, you are literally still a child and it bothers you, especially when you're trying to bother me and I'm still happy. Especially when you're trying to bother me and you see that I'm still happy and entertaining and engaging with other people. So it's some people in there that's trying to take that from you. It's some people in there that they just don't know what to do with you. Y'all, I promise you, I just did not know how rare it was to have this much joy, to be this good of a person. And I'm not saying because I just think I'm all that, but most people, they're just, you're not a good person, right? And so some people, they don't know what to do with that. And so even back to the girl I had told y'all about a couple of lives ago, and the live where I was like, chase who? Right? Because it was a romantic. I'm not going to chase you. Have you lost your mind? I'm not chasing you. And also when it came to friendships, like, ain't no way you thought you was going to be weird and jealous towards me. And I was so desperate for a friend that I would let you act like that and try to destroy my light. No, I've done this 100 times. I'm not going for it anymore. Like that's just where I am. And so part of the irritation this week, I found out today she sent me this long tail message. And I was just looking at it. I was like, I know you lying. You have no business being pushing 40 or over 40. You got a husband, you got kids, and you are worried about me. You are not the type of woman I want to be friends with. Not like that. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. I need everybody to be for real, right? And so still learning how to sit in my position graciously and not entertain foolishness. People be needing attention. People be wanting to feel important. All that stuff that I said in that live, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to do all that. And so that's been working out for me. The point I was going to come back to, they were bothering me real bad this week. Like, I mean, real bad. And like, once he said I wasn't being logical, I was like, what? But when I came back like the next day, I was sitting at my desk, and when I had first moved to that job, they had set me by this man who I really, really like. Like that's my dog. And nobody bothered me then. And I don't know if it was because I sat by him and they knew we were friends and they probably knew they weren't gonna be able to bother me like that, or if it was because I was so new, right? Oh, and it's another thing I gotta tell you that happened at work today. It was a whole bunch of stuff. It was triggering all these like, I gotta figure out why this bothers me, guy. But they never bothered me. And so when I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so he was never weird. Like, what makes people? But when I think about it, he is a really, he is a really like beautiful man. And if I'm being honest, I know I can count on one hand how many men I know like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're rare. Like, I call this like, did I say pretty problems? I don't even know what I said. What did I say? Did I call this pretty problems? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. But I gotta eat my leftover food too. Okay, it's not showing me. That's wonderful. Okay, anyways, I can count how many men I believe are like that I know personally in my life. And that's why I'm like, God is really keeping me humble. It's one thing to be attractive. Now, I know a lot of attractive men. they ain't got nothing going on inside though. Like they walk with God, ain't there. Their mental is not there. You handsome. I'll never lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're attractive. But you don't have, like, I don't even know what to call it, y'all, but they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? I know how many people, how many men I know that are like that. I will argue my daddy is like that. He is so much more than a, handsome man. And I remember having that conversation with my mom, like, when we went to homecoming, because you'll see a lot of people, like, you look older than you did in college, but you still act like how you did when we was in college. You get what I'm saying? To be somebody that truly evolves, to be somebody that has a pure heart, to be somebody that has so much favor on their life, like, no, it is really not as common as I thought it was. And so I think that's why me and him got along so well, because he was very attractive. He was very smart. He was a good person. But I also think part of the problem was when I got there, a lot of the women had been, trying to get his attention, trying to find reasons to talk to him. And when you have the right boundaries, like, you ain't got no business talking to me if you're not coming over here talking to me about work, which is where I'm about to have to be. Because I can't have friends at work. Like, it doesn't work. People are not used to me. That's why I don't like groups. I don't like group chats. Like, when they really weird and immature, they try to make you the target of all this stuff. If I don't deal with that in my family, I'm not dealing with that at work. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand why his boundaries were how they were, but I was somebody that, and that's why it pays being pure in heart and all that. I got past them boundaries. It wasn't because I was just pretty. You get what I'm saying? Like, I got past the boundaries because I'm actually a good person. And so when I was sitting there, I was like, so why was our relationship so different? People that carry that energy are used to that energy. That's why our relationship was so different. He understood what I went through, how everybody want to be near you, everybody want to talk to you. We ain't got no business work like going on. You doing a lot. We're not even working on a project together. You're doing a whole lot. And so people will get mad when they don't have that access to you. And I would hear different stuff that they said about him. I'm like, oh, they're just mad because he don't talk to them. But I come in every morning and he talks to me. There's other people who sit right beside him. He does not speak to them. You know what I'm saying? And so there are some people who they're not, and I don't even want to say it's always intimidation. Like, we talk about jealousy and all that stuff a lot. I don't even think it's always that. They're genuinely not used to you and somebody like you. They're just not. And they want to be around you. They want to talk to you, but they don't know how. And then they're coming off immature and insecure and insincere. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then you being as discerning as you are, you're not going for it. So you like, stay over there. And now that's making them more mad. So now they're talking bad about you, all these things. So, anyways, I really was having low key like a hard week. But I thugged through it. I was pushing through. I was triggered. And I'm gonna tell y'all the things I was triggered exactly back to by all of that. But it didn't trigger me in a bad way. Like I was saying in the live last week. Like, every time you trigger don't necessarily mean you're just gonna be losing it. It wasn't that type of triggering, but it was like, oh God, we need to figure this out. But it was like he knew. I hadn't talked to him since he switched jobs. It was like he knew. He had told me I was on his heart, and he was checking on me, and he was telling me like, like, you have a heart that's easy to break. And I was like, what? And he was like, because it's so, good. Like, it's so genuine and pure. And I told y'all, my mentor tells me that all the time. I have a pure heart. I know I have a pure heart. Don't nobody got to tell me that. And I got some folks, some exes, some men I done dealt with on the internet talking about some they got a pure heart. Baby, you do not have a pure heart. You wicked. You do not have a pure heart. You're delusional. But I know I have a pure heart. You get what I'm saying? So he was telling me that, and he's like, no, that's why I was like low-key kind of like looking out for you. And I was like, this is crazy, because you have people who see that about you. They see you are a good person. And these people will even still, because I feel like I'm like that, and they will see that you struggle with boundaries. You struggle with standing up for yourself. So they don't see that as like, oh, okay, now I'm going to bulldoze her boundaries and I'm going to put her in situations and positions that I know she's going to have a hard time standing up for herself. They don't take advantage of that. They don't abuse that. And these are the same type, especially when you're talking about a man, because I appreciate a good man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to pour into you and help you set those boundaries, even use them with him. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're going to do that and help you become that person who keeps that same heart, but you like guard it. But they never took advantage of you prior to you not knowing how to guard it. You get what I'm saying? So for him to call and check on me and want to say all that, I'm like, that's crazy, because the men I'm dealing with this week, like, they're trying to make me act out of character, and they keep picking at me, and because they know I'm a nice person. So then you got other people, and they see you're friendly, they see you're sweet, they see you're kind, even down to the playfulness. I will argue I'm playful. I'm not childish though. Do you get what I'm saying? And so they see that as something to take advantage of, somebody to target. You get it? Like, that's what it's always been my whole life. Now I'm understanding, like, oh, okay, yeah, it's easier to see that as an adult. I didn't see that when I was younger dealing with family. I didn't see that when I was younger dealing with I didn't see that. So now I have a different level of appreciation for especially the men in my life who put me on game and did not take advantage of that. But it's also appreciation for the women who put me on game and did not take advantage of that. So that girl at work played herself. You thought you was going to be weird, and you thought because I was so sweet and so friendly and so kind that you was going to be weird and jealous, and I was just gonna overlook it. No, baby, I'm discerning, and that's what I'm saying. It's they ain't met nobody like you. You're a pretty physical man. That's what they do. Like men, humans. That's what they do. You pretty. Check. Oh, she's smart too. Check. Oh, she can hold her own. She got boundaries. Check. Oh, she got discernment. Like, God is on her stuff. She actually listens and obeys that. Check. I don't care who you are. Like, your funky heart is not sliding over here, and God is not showing me that. That's also, I think, part of why I was dreaming about the man at work, because he was trying to show me what was going on with him. Like, what you need to do is go worry about what you got going on, and not come in here and try to bother me every day and make me stressed out because you're stressed out. Now, if I come in here and say that, if I come in here and call you an immature loser, then what? Then what, right? Can't do that. Queens don't do that. But a newfound appreciation for the people who see that, who have helped me develop boundaries. My new boss has helped me develop boundaries. Okay, let me segue. Another situation going on at work. I told y'all this other man at work was giving me a hard time, and like he act like he wanna have my job, right? I'm gonna take y'all back to every little thing this is triggering back to. He act like he wanna have my job, and so this week, the man picking on me, doing it with the man I sit beside. The man who want to have my job coming over there having a whole conversation with the man I sit beside that's very immature, and whatever people are doing, and it feels like it's targeted at me, he's just going along with it, right? So they had a whole 30-minute conversation, really loud, like I wasn't sitting there. And I feel like if anybody is talking that loudly about you or what you do or your job, or you're not doing it correctly, all the stuff that was coming out of the side of his neck, and they know you're sitting there, they're trying to play in your face, and they're trying to test you to see like if you're going to say something. Now, had I said something that day when that was actively happening, again, I don't know what happens if you say certain things at work, because I don't say certain things at work. I won't say certain things at work. But I wasn't finna find out this week, like, what if I get up, stand up, like, actually, both of y'all, and I was telling somebody, I was like, you can tell he ain't never been potting in his mouth for how he talk to people, because he think he can just say whatever, whenever he want. Whole time, nobody at work likes him. So sometimes you have to remember that too, just like with your family. Nobody even likes you. Why would I be worried about what you're trying to do? What you trying to say? Why would I be worried about that? And so when I started ignoring the men at work, and it was very much so given, like, do not talk to me. Like, I came and sat down, do not talk to me. Like, it was given that. I believe one of them went back and narcissists do this, whether it's in your family or whatever. And that did just happen with my family. I blocked them. I made it clear we're not going to play these games, because that's literally how I felt going into this week. We're not going to play these games. And then as soon as you do that, they want to cry. They want to cry. They want to change the narrative. Something's wrong with Megan. Something wrong with me because you're not going to play in my face no more. Something wrong with me because I'm not going to let you be comfortable disrespecting me. Something's wrong with me and you want to go cry to my daddy or my mama and say something wrong with me. Whole time something's wrong with you. Just like I had told y'all in the other live, she seemed like the type. Now, this is the girl at work. She seemed like the type to go try to tell somebody, Megan's being weird. I don't know what I did. Whole time, you a weirdo. You the jealous one. Why are you going to go cry to somebody in a leadership position? So I don't know if my boss really knew something was wrong with me, or if somebody had said Megan's being different today, which, again, don't talk to me. Like, I'm going to fix all of y'all real quick. Don't talk to me. If you don't know how to talk, you don't know how to act, don't talk to me. And when these other people walk over here because they come over like clockwork and they want to talk to me and I'm smiling and kikiing and you seeing it's you I don't want to talk to, and you not getting the Megan that everybody else is getting, I want you to know you're the problem. It's you. Anyway, so my boss asked me, was everything okay? And in that moment, I was like, I wonder if one of these men that was picking at me tried to make it seem like something was wrong with me because I didn't let them freely pick at me today. I don't know for sure. Or if my boss just knew something was wrong. I don't know. But either way, that's a tactic. People do that. So the other man came over running his mouth. He was doing a lot. Again, y'all, I got this big deadline to meet this week. It was like triggering, trying to distract me. And I just felt like God was telling me like this is what be happening. You be knowing, which is going to bring me to the last part we're going to talk about. You be knowing you have something to do, somewhere to be. And in this case at work, I knew exactly what the assignment was, the date I gave myself, the suspense, the hard suspense. Ain't no soft suspense. Like, this is when we're turning this in. I knew that. In the whole last week leading up to me being able to do that. And not only was it a big deal for me to accomplish, it was a big deal for my office. My office has never had one of these before. And Megan created the draft. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal. That was a major accomplishment. So the whole days leading up to it, you telling me I got these grown men who are aware of the task. Like, this is how it's going to transition to the last part, the fake friends. You are aware of the task, and you're going to try to bother me, provoke me, pick at me all week. And if I fall for it too much, if I entertain it too much, it's going to distract me from the task at hand. So that was making me mad too, because it was like, y'all know I got to do this. Y'all know I got to turn this in. Why are you acting like this? All the other men over here know how to act. Why don't y'all know how to act? Right? And I don't know if the other man even knew I had a suspense they do, but I had, when my boss had asked me what was going on, the only thing I brought up, because I didn't want to be like a tattletale, like snitch type of vibe, like, they're picking at me. I didn't want to do that, because like, I'm glad I watched Agent Carter, and she was like, I can handle whatever these adolescents throwing my way. Which I can. You have to recognize that it's a child, an immature person. But I did tell him about the man that keep running his mouth like I'm not doing a good job at my job. And I'm tired of it. Like, and I didn't think I'd ever tell my boss that. Like, I'm tired of him running his mouth, actually. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, ain't nobody ever popped you in it. And it's funny because my brother and my older cousin used to tell me that when I was younger. Like, oh, you going to say the wrong thing to the right somebody and they're going to try to fight you. That never happened in my life. People feel like that when you tell the truth, right? I feel like that when people talking out the side of their neck. Shut up. Like, that's the type of people that need to get popped in their mouth. You're not telling the truth. You're talking crazy. You're not even making sense. And you can tell ain't nobody ever popped him in his mouth. And I think that's why he hasn't talked to me in months, because I was checking him in the beginning. And so he stopped talking to me because he thought he was going to keep coming over there talking to me crazy. So he wasn't talking to me crazy. He was talking about me crazy to somebody that sits by me like I couldn't hear it. That's what he was doing. So I was telling my boss, I was like, no, I'm tired of him running his mouth. That's what I'm tired of. And he was like, oh, well, I would never give him, like he would never have your position. This is this. And when he said it, because it's not really about what's going on at work, it was what God was showing me. The things I learned this week, immature men who intentionally pick at me bother me. That is a sore spot for me. People who try to tell me that I'm not doing my job well and they act like they can do it better, it bothers me. How does that translate to my real life? All the family and friends I've cut off because, let me get this straight, I can't be Megan, and I'm the one God created to be Megan, but you can be Megan and you can do it better. And in the process of you trying to be me better than me, you running that mouth, you're lying. And so it was triggering all that. And I was like, oh yeah, I my family ain't been cut off for a full year yet. Like, I'm not saying I'm just out here, just losing it or nothing, but it was triggering all that. And my fake friends, which is gonna be the last thing we talk about. And they remind me more so of that girl at work. And it's like, she is so obsessed with being my friend. And I'm like, no, baby. No, I don't need a friend that bad. And I thank God, because I finally got to that place. I don't need a man that bad. So now you're talking about when you date these immature men, you're sleeping with this immature man who is still doing the poking, the provoking, the bothering you, just like what they do. Like, I've dated men, and you knew I had, when I was getting my master's degree, and that's the one who told me I wasn't submissive, I got a homework assignment due. I'm trying to write this paper, or I have a test, and you want to start a stupid fight with me this week. You just trying to throw me off my game because you're so threatened by who I am. I didn't even talk about that element at work. They all already say they know leadership has their eyes on me. then they make it seem like, oh, Megan's the only one who wants to become a rising star. No, I'm the only one with the skill set. That's why they're picking me. It's not because you don't want to. You want to. And that's why you're mad at me, because I want to. People know that, and I have the skill set to do it, and leadership is investing in me. That's why you're mad. You can date a man that's just like that. I was just telling her when she was doing my hair, that same ex told me to quit my job so he would feel like more of a man. Sounds like you need to get your money up, honey. I'm not gonna not be me so you feel like more of a man. If you was doing what you're supposed to do, you'd already feel like a man. I'm not going to not be myself. I'm not going to not tell the truth so you can feel like somebody you're not. I'm not going to be submissive to you so you can feel like a man worthy of something that you're not worthy of. That's not how this is going down. I'm not coming up in his office every day walking on eggshells because I'm worried you're going to start picking with me and doing all that. I'm not doing any of that. You're going to be uncomfortable in here, not Megan, right? You're going to lead a relationship. But actually, I'm going to probably leave you first. You get what I'm saying? And this friendship is not happening. I'm so proud of myself. And I feel like everything that happened this week was God. I was saying I was irritated, but while I've been doing this live, I keep hearing like, whatever you call it when you're doing it to the land, do y'all know what I'm trying to come up with? It's kind of like aggravated, but maybe not aggravated, but it's a point that you do it for a purpose, right? Like, I feel like that's what was happening this week. So from a very young age, and I feel like I shared this with y'all on a live, boys have been mean to me because they thought I was pretty or they liked me. Now, it's one thing for a little boy not to understand those feelings, not to know what to do with those feelings. I like her. I'm going to be mean to her because if I'm mean to her, then I'm going to have her attention because I'm getting a reaction out of her. This. Okay, these weird women think like that too. And it's not because they like you and want to be with you. People don't know how to get around you. People don't know how to have access to you. And now that you have set boundaries on your discernment, they like, dang, I can't get over here like this. Nope. That fake flattery that buttering me up. Nope, not working. Dang, I can't get over here like this. Nope. The only way you can get over here is by having a pure heart. That's what I'm saying. Them men that ain't never had no problem having access to me, just like I ain't never had no problem having access to them, that's why. My pure heart got me over here. People don't be having pure hearts and be wondering why they don't have access. That's why. You weird. You're phony. You're a fraud. You're immature. You're not just going to be up here with me. That's not how that works, right? And it's been like that since I was young. But I've told y'all this on a live because it was triggering me back to this. And I don't think I ever understood how much this affected me. And I meant to tell my mama this. And I might do a story time. I'm not sure. Short form. In 6th grade, this boy liked me, right? But he picked at me. I hated going to class for a little stint of time. Kind of like them same feelings I've been feeling about going to work. You trying to clock me. You making a comment about everything I do. I feel like I can't breathe in here. You paying so much attention to me. My outfits, my selection of words. I hate being around people like that, right? And so in 6th grade, and it was the same feelings I was having this week, I hated coming to class because he would make fun of me for anything. Mind you, not smart at all. So even if I raise my, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but you know how we would do like popcorn reading and stuff, and you popcorn him and he can't read. Okay. In 6th grade, I would raise my hand, answer questions. I was always smart in class. That was always me. It ain't never not been that. It's always been that. He make fun of me for my answer, even though the teacher is like, good job. Oh, and here's the other thing, because this is and it was laced with like predatorial. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So before I finish that story, he didn't behave like that when our real teacher was in class. In 6th grade, my teacher had a baby. So she was gone for some months. Them months she was gone is when I hated coming in there. She knew how to handle him. He knew he couldn't act like that when she was in class, right? But our sub was an older lady. He was a unruly little black boy. And what they gonna do with him? Nothing. What are they gonna do with him? Not a thing. And it was me and him was the only black people in the class. And so he picked at me all the time with her, and she never knew how to handle it. But again, to me, that's predatorial. That's why some stuff in my family, I'm not doing that with you. I've been getting preyed upon since I was a little girl. I know what it feels like when somebody acts one way around people who are in charge. They act one way around my parents, right? But then when those people aren't present, you act another way. You're a predator. That's why certain stuff do have me triggered, because predator is not God. Anything predatorial, That is not holy. You are unclean. That's how I feel about it. Even with my family, you know what you're out here doing. You know what you're doing, but you think because nobody can see, and this goes for any side, you think because nobody saw you go pay them folks to do that to me. God saw it. I saw it. And then get around my family or my parents and you want to act different, you're a predator. Or the ones who know they're doing this and that, saying this and that behind my back. And then when people are like, oh, well, why doesn't Megan want to talk to you? I don't know what I did. You a liar and a predator. Because you move one way when you think people can't see it. You move one way in the dark when you think people can't see it. Right? Just like that boy in 6th grade. You never did all that when the real teacher was in class. You did all that when we had the other teacher because she did not know what to do with you. Just like the men at work, because it's crazy how y'all act like grown adult men when the boss is over here. Y'all don't do that little picking and heckling and all that stuff when he's over here. And me being me, I told my boss. He came over last week and I was like, they've been heckling me. And he was like, nobody has time for that. We're all grown. Don't be trying to race in here. Da 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 da. Get to work safely. All that. And he was like, I haven't been heckling her. I did like playing it off. But every time the boss not over here, you saying something to me about what time I got to my desk. You're a liar. You are a liar, sir. Y'all don't do all that extra fancy stuff when the boss is over here or another boss is over here or a boss from another office walk over here. You're not doing it then. So why are you doing it when nobody's looking? You're unclean. You're a predator. If the way you move behind the scenes don't match with how you move when people can see, when the bosses are around, you're not my type of person. I don't play that. Just like that girl. You want to be all friendly. She thinks she's slick and she's not. When you see me and you're with a group of people, it's always, hey, Megan, all sweet and innocent, but can't nobody see your heart. Oh, me and God see it. They didn't see when you was being weird to me for 2 weeks. I saw that. Unprovoked. I saw that. And now you're trying to flip it like you know how to behave. And that takes me back to when I was little. That boy did that. He did all that stuff to me when no parents was around. When my brother wasn't around. That's going to always take me back to that. You're unclean. You're a predator. It's not going to make me cry, but I recognize that. I'm like, this is why this is upsetting me. This is why this is making me mad. Okay, God, I got it. I will never appreciate that. I'm not going for that. I'm not standing for that. You can try to fool whoever you want. You can spin the narrative, the story, however you want around other people. But me and God know what's up. We both know what's up. Because I only know what's up because God is showing me what's up, right? So 6th grade, he bullied me for everything. He used to write little notes, put it in my locker, which is literally what it feels like happening at work. He used to call me smelly eggs. I will never forget this. So if anybody who was in 6th grade with me, if they see this, they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But it was causing like that emotional distress because he was always bullying me. And then the people that knew, like when I was telling my mom and them, when I was telling different people, and they're like, oh, he just likes you. You will never. Like when I tell my babies that, I'm like in children's church, because sometimes they do that amongst each other, amongst themselves. Girls do it too. She's being mean to you because she likes you. Stop. Or he's trying to pick at you because he likes you. Stop, right? Like that's the only time I say that. That is a thing, but it's not an excuse. And so when I was in 6th grade, they kept making it like an excuse. Oh, he just likes you. Don't pay him no money. Don't pay him no money. He just likes you. And that's what I'm saying. Like this stuff not gonna grow into nothing worse. I understand like the beginning stages of so many things because of everything I went through. One day we were playing on the playground and we were playing basketball and the ball flew like to like where you can't see, like it was trees and stuff. And I can't really say the woods, it was a playground, but it was like you didn't play over there. Like it wasn't no equipment over there. The ball flew over there and we playing a game. I ran over there to get the ball and I was coming back to the actual basketball area. The teachers can see the basketball area, but they can't really see back behind the trees and stuff. We get over there and he grabs my arm. He was big even when we was in 6th grade. I even want to argue that boy might have even been able to dunk when we was in 6th grade. Like he was tall. You get what I'm saying? Could he do that in 6th grade? Or am I getting confused with the other one? I don't know. Anyways, he was bigger than me. Y'all, if I'm 5'2" now, how big do you think I was in 6th grade? I was not that big. I'm getting the ball. He grabs my arm, and you know how you do like the Indian burn things, like you squeeze my skin. Yeah, he did that really, really hard. He was really big, like grown man strength. He did that, discolored my arm, all of that. And I was like about to cry because it hurt. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I'm not even a boy. Why would you do that to me? I've always been that type of girl, like princess. wait a minute. So we went to recess, I feel like the end of the day in 6th grade, maybe, can't remember. But my arm was still discolored when my mom saw it. So that's what got her attention. But see, I've been telling y'all 4 weeks, if not months, that this man was bothering me. And that's why it was always problems with my parents, because you don't listen. Y'all don't listen. And stuff just gets worse. You don't listen to me when I tell you it's something more to it than that. And people see you not doing nothing, you not intervening when it's like little stuff. I'm 31 now. I don't have to worry about that. I'm about to show y'all that's not what we fixing to do. But he did all that. And I remember in that moment being like, yeah, I don't think that was normal. Like, y'all keep saying this because he liked me. You don't hurt people that like you, right? I didn't realize how much that affected me. I didn't. And when we got older and he ended up coming to high school, I didn't talk to him. Not like that. Like, what's up? Hey, Bob. But it wasn't nothing like that. Like, you can't call me. You can't text me. It's never that. I remember who you were when we were in 6th grade. He ended up going to jail, being arrested for domestic violence. Are we surprised? Were the warning signs not there when we were in 6th grade? And I almost missed the principal party because of him. You know how you go to the principal party for like good behavior and all that? I almost didn't get to go, but it was me that was being bullied and harassed. Why would I not be able to go when he's the one that did it? I think the reason we ended up in the office, my mama had already said something because she worked at the school. I think she had already said something to the vice principal. So at this point, people already knew it was a thing. And they had told him to leave me alone. And I don't know if him being told to leave me alone made it worse. And that can also happen in work situations, work settings. This can also happen romantically. Because I told y'all with my one little counterfeit, when he was starting to get a little too aggressive, I was like, nah, I think I know what this is. Like, would you hit me? We're not even about to find out. Because I've already been in a situation close enough to this when I was 11. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was like nonstop harassing me, like in class. Like, they would call him to the board. I will never forget this. And that's the reason I spoke about him not having the like didn't read that well, all that. Is not to play him. It's just to say he had that insecurity. He had that going on. And so when you have that going on and then you got me in the class and I'm just Wonder Girl genius over here, I think that was a point of, tension. Even though he likes me, he thought I was cute and stuff, but it was like when you struggling and they laughing at you when we doing the popcorn reading, but then the teacher be telling me, put my hand down, you can't answer every question, Megan. We having 2 totally different experiences. And if I'm not mistaken, because he was bad, so she had called him to the board, like, since you want to act out, like, saw this problem, and everybody thought he was actually solving the problem. He wasn't. He drew them same eggs with the odor. Looking back, this is kind of funny, but it wasn't funny when I was in 6th grade. He drew them same eggs with the odor coming out as the answer to like a math problem, and was like, smelly eggs. Turned around and he called me smelly eggs. I told him he was dropping the notes in my locker, everything. Turned around, said the answer was smelly eggs. The whole class laughing, just cracking up again. At 11 years old, it wasn't funny to me. And some stuff stops being funny, even if it might have been funny the first time. It's not funny when you keep on. And that's what the men at work have been doing. It wasn't really funny the first time, especially after you low-key called me stupid because I told you I don't like that and you didn't respect my boundary. And so you kept on and you kept on and you kept on. And so that particular day when he did that and everybody started laughing, she was like, I think I might have started crying. That's why I'm like, that's really insane that I almost got in trouble when I didn't do anything. And she was like, both of you, go to the office now. And I was like, both of us? I didn't even do nothing. And he got in trouble. And my mom had to come in and my mom had to tell the vice principal about the little rug burn situation. It's not a rug burn, Indian burn. What do you call that? Is that racist? I'm so sorry. But you get what I'm saying? Like, when they do that, they twist your skin really, really hard. Like, it turned my skin red. So, yeah, some stuff triggers me back to that. But then also looking back, I don't know if your family can be mean to you because I think you're cute. And if that's the case, that's just crazy. But that's how my cousin was growing up. Just like these immature men at work, always picking on me. Always something. People don't know what that does to your mentee. Like, I can't even come in here and worry about what I need to worry about in peace because I have to also worry about you being stupid and you trying to get laughs from the rest of the circus by bothering me. And so that's what, like, it literally felt like all those things at work this week. I was like, yeah. And that's why I left. Like, I walked out and I went inside the car because I was like, okay. something's not right. This should not be bothering me this much. What they're actually doing and saying isn't even like that crazy. Just like looking back, like the smelly eggs, it's not that crazy, but it's incessant. And I have always dealt with incessant harassment. I really do believe it's partially contributed to my looks. People just want to be around me and they don't know how to be. They can't. They was making me so mad at work. I wanted to ask them so bad, like, how old are you? Are you married? What's your wife like? Is she pretty? Have you ever been around an AKA in your life? Is that why you're acting like this? Because you never have, and work is your only opportunity to be around one ever for the first time? Because if I start acting like that, then what? Then what? Oh, she thinks, oh, Megan, nah, because I really want to know why you're in here bothering me, especially as another black person in the office, why you're letting these other white people think that they can bother me, especially these white men. Not to make it about race, but as a black man, you should be looking out for me like the other ones do. What is your actual problem? I'm assuming you never talked to an AKA. Is that what it is? Like, that be bothering me because I have my stuff up in my desk and they just picking me all the time. And I'm not gonna come in here and not be me and not be proud of everything, even when they be like, oh, you went to Auburn. I did. Don't start doing that because I already had a racist neighbor growing up. I did go to Auburn. I did. Is that a problem for you? Is that gonna be okay? Like, I'm Auburn smart. I am. Just like everybody else in the office. Are we okay with that? Like, they be so pressed. So that's a tying in, and it's not just because I'm AKA, y'all. That's just the example I'm using. You can very much so be a very pretty woman inside and out, and you're not an AKA. That's not what I'm saying. I know the vibes I be getting at work. Like, they abuse their proximity to me, just like the men at church. You have never, ever, ever had a reason to be around a woman like me before. But because we go to the same church, you're gonna abuse that proximity to me? I don't think so, sir. Like, it's the same thing. So all that was going on, the triggering, the pretty problems. I was telling my mama, like, I think God is really just trying to help me get over all this, recognize what be bothering me. But now, last thing, the fake friends, and y'all know I've been talking for a while. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. She really bothered me with that this week. And again, she sent that message a couple days ago, but I didn't see it till today. And she tries to act one way around groups of people, but acts totally different when people can't see how she's acting. That's how your fake friends are. I was Googling like scriptures about fake friends. And of course, one of the main verses that popped up was like, bad company corrupts good character. No, I've always been pretty strong-minded, strong-willed. Peer pressure didn't really work for me. Do thank God for that. And I still knocked out my goals and stuff, even with having friends who didn't have these same goals. I still was able to knock them out. And I told y'all, I don't know where I got off track, but God showed me this week where I got off track. And it was when I started hanging out with people I had already cut off in a previous season. That goes for fake friends and also spending more time around family. My whole life feel like it just started going left. And I was like, right before I got sick, like everything just went left. The other scripture that came up was one about people who are around you and they're very deceitful. Yeah. So how I was just going hard about like you're a predator, you're predatorial, you act one way around people, you do one thing in the dark, but you do something different in the light. Yeah, that's them type of people. I can't remember what the verse says specifically, or if it even mentions a mask. I could be making that up, but they're wearing a mask regardless. I was telling Morgan, like, it was easy to cut off girls who like they couldn't even hide it. Like, oh, you pressed. Like when I got on Facebook and my best friend had unfollowed me, unfriended me, and I was like, wait, when did you do that? And me being me, I was trying to tag her in something, like a picture of all of us. And I couldn't. And I was like, what the heck? Like, that's weird. So I went to go search her name. Like, maybe she changed it. No, she wasn't my friend on there anymore and all that. And I was like, oh, okay. And oh, she also had blocked Morgan too. I was like, or not blocked, unfriended Morgan. So I'm like, what did Morgan do to you? I knew when that happened. And now, mind you, she had did all that on Facebook, but she still was texting and wanted to talk to me and stuff. Like, girl, what? Her envy was so real. She could not, and y'all, when I say this, she could not stomach my wins in life, my successes in life. That, like, she could not see it. That's why she didn't have me on Facebook. This is the same person. I remember when I wrote my book, And I had text and I had told them, I was like, y'all, like I got a book. Oh my gosh, I'm an author now. Nothing. No response. Y'all are not my friends. What am I doing? And so for me, I feel like going back to friends and family and you already knew these things, like that was stupid of you. That was stupid of me, right? So I was telling Morgan, like, it just seems easier to cut off people when it's more blatant. And hers was always super blatant. Like, even little, like in college, like, that girl cannot celebrate me. She could not do it. Like, you're not my friend. I'm sorry. You may like me in some weird warped way in your mind, or I might inspire you, but you are not my friend. Like, my new standard of what a friend is never fit it. Will never fit it. So it's kind of easy to cut her off. But what I realized was I was still staying around people who felt the same way. They could just hide it better. But I feel like I got to a point in my life where God was like, nah, like we're not keeping them around either. I don't care if they can hide it. I don't care if they do in the public act like they like you, they fool with you, they rock with you. I know how they feel about you behind closed doors. I know how they feel about you in their heart. That's what I'm saying about that girl at work. Like, you really thought you was gonna play in my face and you're begging to be my friend, but you know your heart ain't right towards me. Not playing those games anymore. Not doing it. You can tell people whatever you want. I'm not doing this with you. So I was having a recurring dream that God was reminding me about. And in a dream, my two friends, and I'll just say one couldn't hide it, one could. Okay. In a recurring dream, they was driving the car. I was not driving. And we were just driving through very barren lands. Like, it was just dirt, low-key kind of like clay dirt. We was just driving through very barren lands, lost. No vegetation, no produce, nothing. Oh boy, aren't I glad I got out the car with them? And I've done that multiple times. The problem was I kept going back. And so I've said multiple times on here, like, I don't know where I went off track. I don't know what's going on, God. And that comes in from that desperation or desire to have friends. And so just because you want friends, you'll be friends with people who don't like you, who don't respect you, who don't cherish you, who don't care about you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not that deep. Just like for the sake of having a man, but you're dating a man that's a bully to you. You're dating a man who wants to steal from you. That same boy who asked for my tax refund stole that iPhone. I ain't forgot. Like, you like, that's who you are. So why are you with a man who wants to take that from you? Who wants to take your energy, who wants to siphon from your purity, right? Like, why are you doing that? Just for the sake of, no, Megan is beyond that now. Like, you won't catch me back there. I'm out of the trenches. I'm straight. I'd rather be alone than have a low quality mate, or even if it's not low quality, we're not aligned, there's no purpose. You won't catch me in those streets no more. And I'd rather be alone than have a fake friend up in my face, or have a girl just for the sake of having a girl in my life and she really don't love me. I don't need friends that bad. I don't need a man that bad. I just don't. I don't care to have friends that are not genuine friends to me, because I am such a genuine person. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this with nobody. So that was a recurring dream. I didn't realize that was a recurring dream. Like, I don't think we just supposed to be driving around. It's just like dry desert. What is going on? That is very symbolic, is it not? It absolutely is. So fast forward, I was sick all of 2024. And again, I started being around a lot of people that I wasn't supposed to be around at the end of 2023. It's literally like my life went skirt. Like, wait, this is not where I was headed. This is not, wait, right? And but I still thank God for the reroute, because it's like I did learn these lessons, and I got some extra coins for when I get back on track. You know what I'm saying? I got some more spiritual currency. So at the beginning of 2025, after that whole year of being sick, I was dreaming about them during my fast. And I think I had told y'all about this. Like, it was like they knew where I was supposed to be. And they really enjoyed the fact that I wasn't there, that they interfered with it. And so, like, in a dream, the one who couldn't hide hers, she was the one actively coming against everything, actively trying to interfere and sabotage, like my family that I cut off. And the other one, she wasn't doing anything, but she was aware that the other one was, and she was witnessing what the other one was doing. And she was very entertained by it. So it was kind of like she was trying to keep her hands out of it, keep her hands from not being dirty. But God sees that, and that's why he's showing me that. Just like I got a cousin who gonna actively try to get in the way, actively try to interfere, and the other one just gonna instigate and run her mouth. You still caught up in that. You're very much so still caught up in that. And that's why God was showing me it was the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Not really cool because I was upset. I was angry. I was hurt. I was mad at myself because you let people derail you from where I like this week. God just showing me like I'm not doing that anymore. You had a suspense. You had a deadline. You knew what you were supposed to do. You knew what you had to meet, and you made sure you still met it, even in the midst of them doing the most and them trying to distract you, right? No matter how that's coming in, whether it's, oh, well, let's do this, or maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do this, and this, and that ain't got nothing to do with the goal you got, right? So people who love you gonna keep you focused on the task at hand and gonna help you get to that, right? Because they want what God has for you. So how can you see what God has for somebody and go out of your way or be entertained by somebody interfering with them getting there? Do you get what I'm saying? So that broke my heart. I was very upset. I'm pretty sure I was on a live talking to y'all about it. Like, nah, like he was just showing me like I was been supposed to be there, and they was just in the way and enjoying the fact that I was in the way and I wasn't there. So that kind of made me lock in. But the timing of the dream kind of messed things up. I felt like God was real, like, I don't know if it was strategy or what, but when I did that fast in January 2025, my y'all Morgan got married in March of that year. I started a new job February 24th of that year. So I was having all these dreams and God was showing me all this stuff. And I was like, I can't even bust the move till after the wedding because I knew I couldn't blow up my sister's wedding. Like, and I knew, even though I was telling her all these things, she knew different stuff was happening. And she was like, well, what you want to do about it? Like, we could have got to fighting at the wedding. That's the part people don't know. But I'm not doing that at my sister's wedding. Morgan's not about like, we could have did it, but we weren't doing that. Like God was showing me all types of stuff my family had been doing, been saying, and then additionally me having these other people around me. So that's what I'm saying. I have the conduct. People don't even see how I be sparing them. People don't see how I be keeping it cool, but I really be knowing what's going on. So I didn't blow nothing up. I ain't really bust no move until the day after the wedding, and I woke up and I knew some people like you will never talk to me again. You will never be around me again. And I promise you that. I'd have to have that conversation with them, but I knew that based off the dreams I was having in January, like we don't even have to worry about that. And I'd make that decision for me. I don't care what Morgan does, but I'm telling you now, that's not what we're doing. Like it's games people want to play with me that make us not playing anymore. So fast forward, and you know, you can get a little, when I was reading those words about like the devil uses your sentiment against you, I'm like, dang, like I still don't really got no like friends. Like maybe I should go back. Maybe I should. In all these years of me thinking like, oh, they just accept the fact that I'm weird and I disappear and I cut people off. No, that was my spirit. My spirit knew what type of time y'all was on. That's why I kept leaving and kept disappearing like that. I can't believe I ever apologized for cutting people off. Like, no, I should have kept you cut off. Like that, I knew better and I didn't do better. And so I think a lot of people expected me to come back, friends, family, romantic interests. And then was like, I'm not doing that. I promise y'all I'm not doing that. I'm not coming back. And it's like all this time is going by. It's like, dang, I really didn't come back. I think I didn't surprise myself with this one. But during that time where I thought like maybe I should go back, God started reminding me of different stuff. And I had another dream. So that's the dream I'm going to share with y'all real quick. And it's interesting because AKA was in that dream. And y'all know we talked about sorority stuff. I've spiritually had to come out of agreement with stuff. But I am still in a sorority and I do believe that God is going to use that. But that was one of the first signs that there was some, like, you're not really my real friend, like way back when. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, in a dream, and I could have told you this when I first dreamt it, but I kind of just been sitting on it. In a dream, I had somewhere to be. And I was walking hand in hand with my friend that hides hers better. My friend that hides hers better. We were walking hand in hand. And what freaks me out about the dream was I remember that like sensation, that feeling, that physical touch in the dream. I don't always remember that, but I remember how it felt us holding hands in the dream. So I knew God was highlighting something to me by the fact that I could remember it. I had somewhere to be, But because I was hand in hand with her, which is agreement, right? You're aligning yourself to be in agreement with this person. How can two walk together unless they agree? So by me holding your hand, I'm in agreement with you. And like when I was friends with them, very barren, very dry, nothing being produced, not at that level. I was still executing and knocking stuff out, but not like, I feel like you can have like goals like this, like that's just a goal, period. Like it don't matter what's going on. But I entered into a life in a type of lifestyle where it's like above that. Like it's like purpose. Like you know what I'm saying? Like these different type of goals, right? And I'm not saying what my purpose to like graduate from school and all that, but it's just different. I was gonna do that regardless. But this other stuff, this next level stuff, everybody don't get to that next level type of life. Does that make sense? So I had somewhere to go. I was in agreement with her. And mind you, if I'm holding her hand, how am I holding my husband's? I just want y'all to think about it. We had that one video, classic OG is private now while waiting to walk together. And a lot of things were hit on in that video, jealousy, envy, right? How can you hold your spouse's hand if you're holding your friend's hand? And you and your spouse, it shouldn't be, oh, we walk hand in hand and no. Like, how can you and your spouse walk together and agree and you in agreement with this? So let me tell y'all where that agreement led me with her. And I was like, okay, God, I get it. Don't go back. I was like, okay, I won't go back. We were walking around maybe like a mall, but it wasn't the high end mall. Now, I told y'all, I got a mentor who's a boss in the spirit. And she had me in this place ever since I met her. It's like I had access to this whole other shopping mall. And it's like I only really be there if I'm with her. Except for that one dream my cousins had stole from us. Anyways, it was a different type of mall. It was like a normal mall. That's what I'm saying. Like you have like this type of living and you have this type of living. I'm trying to stay up here. Once I had access to that, once I saw that existed, once I saw like, oh, it's a whole nother life you can live, I'm always trying to stay up here. Why am I in agreement with people down here? At a mall that like you can't even get to this one. We're walking around. She leads me to the friend that can't hide hers. When I get over there to that friend, she's in a literal group that hates women like me. A group of women that hate women like me. So I'm walking with a friend who hides hers better. So that's that deceit verse that I told y'all I was looking at earlier. And she leads me to a different friend who hates my guts. And in the dream, it was like I could overhear what that friend was saying. And she was like, we all hate AKAs. And when I woke up, I thought that was so crazy because I was like, hate AKAs? Why would it be that? To me, when I first hear AKA, the first thing I think of is pretty girl. So again, that's why I'm telling y'all, like, these pretty problems I'm talking about, this ain't exclusive to no AKAs. I know AKAs who are horrific inside. You're like, you are a nasty, disgusting human, right? So that's not what that is. I'm just saying God knew how he was going to relay that to me. She led me to a group of women who hate pretty women inside and out. Like, these people loathe you. They hate your existence. Why else would you unfriend your friend on Facebook? Like, what other reason did you have to do that if it wasn't because you hated me? You hate to see my success. You hate to see me happy. You hate to see my wins. What other reason do you have to do that, sis? So she was in a group of women, and it's like, that's what they bred, that hatred. How are you my friend? And and you leading me over here to these heifers that hate me, and you're aware that they hate me. That was your goal. You not no innocent middleman. You not no innocent bystander. That's not what you are. You, because I can't discern what's actually going on beneath your mask because you hide it better, you are leading me over here to them. Dream shifts. I'm on an elevator and I've had these dreams my whole life. I'm holding a baby. Whose baby is this? Like, I'm usually pretty aware in dreams. I'm like, whose child is this? But I was comforting the child, like, it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And the elevator was free falling, dropping down. When I woke up, God simply told me my agreement with that girl, and really any spirit that's the same thing, and you leading me, like, I know not to go be around a bunch of women that hate me. Obviously, duh, why would I do that? But my agreement with somebody that keeps leading me over there is causing significant downfalls and unnecessary downfalls in my life. Now, I will say when the elevator was dropping, I'm usually terrified, but I was telling my baby, like, or the baby, I don't know if it's my baby, I was like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And I knew how to brace for the impacts because I've gone through this so many times. I've had those dreams my whole life. I was like, so all this getting off course and me knowing I was up here and had access to this, my agreement with these people who could hide it well. Some of my family, they try to act like, oh, I don't, nah, baby. You be with them. You be with the sabotager and the instigator running your mouth, unless you're saying, hey, keep Megan's name out your mouth. You're probably the problem. But you being fooled, played by all of that, you telling them any ounce of your business, you making any type of plans, you going along with any of their plans, and nothing they planning is aligned with where God wants you to be. And I had that dream before too. I knew where I was supposed to be at what time, and I was not there because of my family. My family wanted to go eat at a place, and I knew I could not eat that food. Like, I've been documenting my dreams for a long time. They wanted to go eat at a place, and I kept telling them, I have somewhere to be. I have somewhere to be. They did not care. They wanted to go eat at a place, and I could not eat that. My diet has changed, right? That, I think it was a scene with people at work, and it was a scene of me being distracted by men that I thought was attractive. And I have somewhere to be. They know you have somewhere to be. They don't care. So I'm in a place in my life where it's like, I'm not mad at you because you don't care that I have somewhere to be, and I'm really mad at myself because I knew I had somewhere to be and I didn't just like, bye, deuces, like, which is what I did last year. Actually, no. I know where I'm supposed to be. I had a divine appointment. And so we were hearing all these words over the years. Baby, you know about the divine appointment and you finna miss it. Cause of you. I'm like, we just think it's just gonna randomly just, God has already told you. You should have been preparing for that and ready to go. And instead, your family who don't care and they're aware, your fake friends who don't care and they're aware, are these men who just want to hit. They just want to smash. That's all they want to do. You gonna let that keep you from your divine appointment? Yeah, no. I can't keep living like this, God. So that's where we are. And I wish y'all could read that message. I'm not even gonna do her like that. But the way she was like, oh, I just really thought we were gonna be friends. It sound fake. We not gonna be friends. I've learned my lesson, honey. We be friends and you can derail my life and cause all these unnecessary downfalls. I literally already graduated from that. I'm not going back to that again. So that's where we are. Please don't fail the tests. Be aware that it'll be the same spirit, but it's a different body. Because ultimately, when we having these dreams, even if that spirit is moving through those people in the real world, it's still at the core like a spiritual thing you're up against. The devil is just able to use them to do it. And me and Morgan was talking about that. I told her, I said, I feel like people be purposely telling me stuff to derail my progress. She was like, you know they do. But that's on you. Who cares? If you know you're trying to lose weight, why would you go get donuts just because somebody suggested that knowing you're trying to lose weight? Why would you do that? You know that don't match up with your goals. That's a you thing. That's just an example because they always trying to feed me donuts at work. Always. Why would you do that? Just like when I had the goal to start growing my hair back out, like intentionally growing it out because I was playing. I had that goal and I got around people. They don't have that goal. They don't care. So I lost the goal. And that was my fault because I should have kept the goal. And somebody was like, oh, I really want to see a bob. And I was like, a bob? Girl, you know, Bob. Now, I don't listen to people to that extent. Like, I'm not just going to go make a haircut appointment because somebody said that. But you can't go off of what other people are saying or suggesting for you. And I would hope whatever I suggest for people, don't go off of that. You got to know what God is telling you. And I feel like I had to take that power and that responsibility back in my life because apparently I gave it away to some people who hate my guts and don't want to see me where God has for me, right? But I had to take that back in my life. Just like the video I made, and I was like, the decision is yours to make. In that video in particular, we were talking about parents, I think. or people who don't know what's going on. They be wrong and loud. But sometimes it's also people who know, like, now, I got healthy hair. I got thick hair. Why would you suggest I cut this off? Would you cut yours off? You get what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think about stuff like that. Now, I've been in the gym. I'm trying to lose this weight. And I think somebody was preying on me. Why are you suggesting I eat some crazy stuff? I'm already eat the junk. I'm like, oh, I don't need you to encourage me to eat more junk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta think about stuff like that. Even down to like people who are in the position and able to do what you can, they will try to tell you not to do it. I don't think everything is always malicious. Maybe they just can't give you advice from that place because they're not in that position. Like my ex who told me, I had an ex who told me to quit my job to make him feel like a man. I had an ex who told me to not buy a house. Still don't think he's in one. Do you get what I'm saying? Why was you telling me to not buy the house? Why would that be your suggestion to me? And why would I listen is the real question. I didn't. I told you I'm pretty good about that when it comes to money. Pretty good about that. Other stuff, obviously not. I feel like for me, and I thank God for giving me that visual, people was trying to keep me living down here. I'm not speaking bad. This is normal. I'm not called to live a normal life. I'm not called to live at normal obedience, regular schmeckler obedience. Because the real obedience, that's what gets you like, ugh, what? Purely. It gets you up there purely. Some people are up there and it's not purely, right? But I was letting people who like, no, I can't listen to you. I'm not going with your plans either because up here, move differently, act differently, and it's a whole nother plan and schedule that I got to be a part of. And I'm trying to live up here. Thank you for the visual, guy. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Even when you just talking about the stuff we talked about earlier and people's behavior, I'm up here. They don't behave like that. So I'm not tolerating behavior that is normal down here. That's how I'm living my life from now on. I hope we always remember this. And I remember the video I made and I was like, I'm not coming down there where you are, right? Like, I'm really trying to live like that. No shade, but I just live a different life. We already knew that though. I live a different life. So I'm not going to miss my blessings and my opportunities and my divine appointments and my destiny and my peace. Peace is luxury. This down here, normal, regular, that's not luxury. This is normal. The regular mall, right? Where I'm in agreement with her. Now, where the friends that can already shop up here? Because I'm trying to get up here. Where they at? Where they at? We can be in agreement. They're up here too. Peace is luxury. Joy is luxury. Like when I come in that office every day and they see I have both, I don't know, I can't say TH, both peace, love, joy, that's luxury. 90% of the people coming in there don't have that. I do though. So what we're not going to do is have me living down here where I'm without it because I've done what I needed to do to have access to it by the grace of God. Thank you. That's luxury. Boundaries, luxury. Yeah, not going back to the trenches. I've had a taste of a life of boundaries. We're going to keep those up. Definitely keeping those up. Shout out to the homie. Like, you have a heart that's easy to break. Thinking about it now, he just meant I'm sensitive. I don't really think it's that easy to break. Even reflecting before Valentine's Day, which, y'all, this is my life. Hold on. I need some water. You can hear the congestion. Whew. Love is a lifestyle. And that's what me and God was talking about today. Especially with the pink and red. Yeah, that's how I live. That's this whole channel. Every Kingdom Marriage word, you're going to see them pink and red hearts. This ain't no just February 14th thing. I am love. I show love. I receive love 365. And I expect it tomorrow too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how I live. Love is a luxury. Hate? They don't do that up here. They don't do that up here. I'm not living like that anymore. I'm just not. Also, something he was telling me, telling the truth is a form of protection. I feel like living in his truth, living truly, that's also a luxury. People who live in lies and in the dark and in secret and delusional, that's not luxury. Ain't nothing about that luxurious to me. I am blessed to be able to live a different type of life, and I kept letting other people who were not there yet pull me down. That's not to say that I won't. You help people who want to help themselves. That's something me and my dad been talking about a lot. I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself. I can't help you if you don't actually want to get up here. And if you're not working on your heart, you're not gonna get up here. That's why it ain't never been. My mentors had to teach me like boundaries and stuff. It was never making you have a nasty heart. You can't come up here. It wasn't like that. God, I'm allowed up here, but I gotta learn how to operate to where I don't let people steal from what I'm able to access from up here. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that dream, I've had a lot of good dreams over the years. I've had a lot of good dreams my whole life, but I've had some like coming of age dreams, I feel like lately. Like my cousin stole from me, and I was like, you can't even afford to go around finna go spend money. Like that was very, I think there's more to this than just this $100 in this dream. Right. Exactly. So that's just where I'm trying to live. I'm gonna leave y'all with this just because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I don't know if I'm gonna talk to y'all. Last year, because again, I grew out of my desperation for anything. But last year is Valentine's Day, and I had made the decision prior to the holidays to like, I ain't doing this with nobody. Like, actually, no. I feel like experiencing love at a certain like, I'm not even saying y'all got to be perfectly healed because we're never going to be that to experience like the good love between you and a human. But I think to be in a relationship and y'all are intentional about each other, intentional about being together, intentional about growing together, evolving together, that's that. Because two humans being together is never going to be perfect, right? But when y'all are able to like, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to be, it lines up, y'all can get on the same page. I need to work on this, I need to work on this. Oh, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of relationship I was like, nah, I know. I like he may not be all the way healed, but he know he wants to continue healing. He's intentional about his healing journey because that's how I am. I'm not all the way there, but I'm trying to get there. You get what I'm saying? And oh, my heart spirit. Oh, your heart spirit too. Like them the type of conversations I was having. So I had decided before the holidays I was just going to be thugging like solo dolo. Let me focus on my healing. That's the best decision I can make for my husband and kids. Let me just focus on me. And I never took time to do that, right? Not even when it was suggested or recommended. Like maybe I should have listened. Okay. I was single, like for real. Thanksgiving, Christmas. We got to Valentine's Day, but I had did that fast. And when you fast like that, it's really hard. Like when you fast and you consecrating yourself, I ain't with no games. Like I come out of a period like that and it's like, stay away from me. All of y'all disgust me. But last Valentine's Day, it was a problem because I bought myself my own Valentine's Day gifts. All right, you can't be mad at me because it looked like I bought my own gifts when you didn't buy me nothing. What? Like, and a situationship is crazy when y'all think about it because how is I single? We weren't even dealing with each other for this bitty butt, so you come back and you mad. That's I can't do this. This is immature. This is childish. So I was still very much so single, getting ready for Morgan's wedding, about to go through a major life transition, knew I was changing jobs, starting a job, like, you know what I'm saying? That's where my head was at. On Valentine's Day, I went and got myself that stuffed unicorn that I sleep with every night. I got myself some chocolate-covered strawberries, which I'm going to go get tomorrow, and I got myself some flowers from Publix. I ordered the unicorn off of Amazon. Don't have to tell you all this, I'm just telling you. I was in the kitchen. I was looking at my flowers. They're very pretty. I was enjoying my chocolate-covered strawberries. And I broke down crying. I was like, didn't see this coming. It wasn't about relationships. It wasn't about a man. I actually was like on my knees, like broke down. And I had started repenting. And I was like, okay, like it was like my spirit kind of forced me into that position, and my spirit was trying to like, drop some stuff on me. And like I said, I just came out of a month of like fasting and consecrating myself. And what was coming out of my mouth was like, oh, man, this is crazy. Like, I did not know this is how I was starting to feel or, where I had got. And I had repented and told Jesus, the Lord, that I was sorry I was out here moving like he wasn't enough. Like his love wasn't enough. Like I wasn't loved because I never got to have like a real boyfriend, a real genuine experience. I still don't know what's going on. And I was genuinely sorry. Like I was like, how could I ever be upset when you love me this much? Like I felt that very strongly, and those feelings have not left me since then. So we're going on a year of me being like, no, you're gonna always be enough. I might have had a moment this summer because y'all know I had tried to date for a hot second. I gotta stop doing that. I know better. I'm like, this is why I don't date. This is literally why I don't. And that did not last very long. And he was triggering me so bad, but like the Megan I am today, like right now, and recognizing like, oh, I'm being triggered. Let me see what this is taking me back to. I wasn't able to do that this summer. So I knew he kept reminding me of my narcissistic ex, but I could not for the life of me figure out like why, like what was going on. He was very good at hiding. Like it was just like my narcissistic ex. He would say stuff like he was emotionally intelligent and like, I'm here for you and I'm mature, but really immature, really not emotionally intelligent, really not healed, really didn't have nothing going on. Like that was all act. And you almost had me, right? Um, but I think I had a moment in there and that kind of threw my mama off because she was like, what? I thought we was doing good, ma'am. And I was like, yeah, I should have known he had me jacked up because you was playing on my mind. And I got good. I got real good from that. But something the Lord reminded me of the other day. I remember one year I was telling my dad, like, I ain't never even really had a real Valentine. Like, this is crazy. Like, to be such a lover girl, and it's like, and he was like, your husband be your first Valentine. He just said it so like, like it might have even been him that was like, your first real boyfriend is gonna be your husband too. It might have been him that said that. I don't know. But I just had so much peace with that. And like everybody who it fall apart and they take themselves away and all that, good, because you weren't supposed to be over here. Like, obviously. But I have that same peace. I don't really feel pressed about nothing, if I'm being honest with y'all. That's just no way to live. And he gave me all those words, Passenger Princess, Gyra, you are enough. I'm pretty sure that's a song I tell y'all in the videos, but it was like I had not got there fully yet. Like that's why I had found out in the kitchen last Valentine's Day because I'm like, oh my god, you really are enough. Like I am so sorry I never felt loved and all that. And when it was always you. It's always gonna be you. Like you 1,000 there talking to a man for real. But we had that moment, and Jesus, that's my dog for sure. And I'm just very grateful that I was able to come out of survival mode, which I had prayed for that last time I tried to date for a hot second. And I told y'all about it. That's what that triggered out of me. Like, hold on, wait. Because that wasn't sincere either. I was just telling her all this when she was doing my hair yesterday. I was just like, no, it's actually kind of crazy. Because men be doing a lot and be doing the most, and it's not sincere. They don't really and I just feel like the type of person I am. Like I said, my one friend, like I can tell you how many men I know that are like me, like freakishly attractive, freakishly smart, sincere. No, but I can tell you how many I know on less. Like it's not even 5. It's really closer to 0 than 5. But I'm grateful I learned my worth, but I recognize men and women alike, they come over here is not because they genuinely like me, they genuinely see me. I don't feel seen by them. It's not that. They just want everything they can take from me. And so that one instance, that's what that was. He didn't really like me. He was just going so hard because he wanted to learn how I do what I do so that he could later do it. Weird. And I told my dad that the other day, I was like, it's grown men out here who trying to pretend they're me. You think I trust a woman? Like, and he was just looking at me like, Megan, where did that come from? Like, nah, I'm serious. And so, but that relationship, because I'm realizing like all the bad ones and the wrong ones. It really wasn't that I was supposed to be learning. And I feel like that taught me that. Like, you was applying pressure, but for non-genuine reasons. Because as soon as you saw I was a human, as soon as you saw I had hurts and pains and trauma, you didn't care about any of that. Or I've struggled, and even in me struggling, I was honest with you. I could have lied, you know what I'm saying? And I did it, and it was still a problem. But that showed me what that insincere pursuit looks like. Because it looked right. That's the crazy part. It looked right. But beneath all that, and God was already showing me that, and me listening to my mom and them, and I should have listened to God. Like, that taught me a lot of lessons, but that taught me what an insincere pursuit looks like, even if he's not doing the, like, it's easy for us to be like, oh, he trifling, he's a liar, he's a cheat. Like that. Okay, yeah, I've been dealing with that, but that didn't come off like that. That looked right. That appeared right. And it beneath it, nothing. Nothing. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then after that, and I feel like all these kind of show me like this is why you don't go backwards. I feel like I do one little dating escapade a year. That's what seems like happens. This year, last year, this last summer when I did it, that was it. He tricked me and like acting like I was a princess and stuff, but I had told y'all I didn't let him take that away from me. When he started acting different and trying to treat me like I was a loser, oh no, baby, we already did this in 2020 with the narcissist. I'm gonna keep telling myself I'm a princess and I'm gonna drop you like a bad habit, and that's exactly what I did. I think I am the type of person that's always gonna have certain exes and stuff watching me and stalking me. It is the nature of the beast. Like, to be mad at me about a man who is stalking me and my mama is absurd. To lose your relationship with me over a man who is always gonna want me. Notice I didn't say love. Always gonna want me. And then again, it's stalking me and my mama. Crazy. And that's just what it is in some instances. But that's very like down here. I keep seeing this meme and it's like, I can't wait to be married and I gotta talk to another man. Like, that's how I feel when I'm up here. Like, I'm not worried about, like, I feel like my real pure male relationships is nothing weird. It's nothing off about it. Like, it's genuine friendship. It's genuinely like, I get you, you get me. We know what it's like to be walking in his walk, like, to look like this, to be like this, to have a relationship with God like this. And really, I should say it in the right order: to have a relationship with God like this, to be gifted and blessed like this, to be smart like this, but to also look like this. Like, I really do live the best of both worlds. And that is another heavy reason why people will be jealous of you. And until you really see, like, dang, like, I really do live the best of both worlds, it's not gonna make sense to you. But today I was like, no, I actually see why a lot of people, or a lot of girls at least, but I see why a lot of people act how they act, and I see why a lot of people hate me, because they don't live like that. I do though. And I've been living like this for a long time. It's kind of like, so when we're talking about these different levels, it's like I get to bring my luxury from up here to my experience down here. And when you say it like that, that's really like heaven and earth, right? Like, so when you're living worldly versus when you're living with God, I guess that's what the levels are. And so while I'm here on earth, I get to still have the luxury from heaven. Does that make sense? And I can also escape the nonsense from down here, because beam me up, Scotty. All those years of me saying that and desiring that, like, that's what that was. But really, heaven comes down. I'm trying to keep the visual alive. But I get the best of both worlds. I live great down here because it's really what I'm pulling from there. Does that make sense? So I understand some of the hate sometimes. Like, I'll be mad for like a full 30 minutes, just going crazy, text my mom like, can you believe this? And I'm like, dang, I'm so blessed. Like, I don't even know I was tripping. I don't even know I was mad about it. That's crazy. Let me go watch something I like on TV. That's literally what I'll be doing. So, and I thank God for that, because I had shared that scripture with y'all this week too. Like, when I was really mad at work and irritated, he was like, I need to be slower to anger. That's the part he was really highlighting me, but it didn't really feel like anger. It felt like annoyance. But when I was reading it in the version I was reading it, and it was like, human anger isn't productive, I was like, right, like, you you took the words out of my mouth to go read it and it'd be like, that's exactly how I was feeling. Cause it's like, I just wasted time sitting up here irritated. I could have been locked in. And that's how I'm starting to feel in my life entirely. Like, no, I don't really care what y'all doing. I need to understand how it's affecting me and how to overcome that. But at the end of the day, I don't need to be losing good, precious time to be working, because I also had this other really good dream where, y'all, we really are on like borrowed time. Like it was like a clock. It was like a countdown. Like it's gonna run out. Like you cannot be here. You gotta do the work while you can. Like I had a dream like that. So it's just like them feelings aren't productive, but I also feel like you got to process them and deal with them so that you can get above them. Does that make sense? But it's like I feel like I spent enough time doing that. Like I'm ready to really live above it. So now I'm thinking about all the times where I pray like, God, help me live above it. And how I told y'all my daddy always says to look out and look up. That's what he's talking about. When you look out, that's more so like me and my parents talk about how you have to be forward thinking, and a lot of people aren't. They make decisions based off of right now in this moment. I can't do that. I've never had the ability to do that because God just shows me too far ahead for me to be able to make a decision right here, right now. But a lot of people don't have the ability to do that. So whether it's you do something stupid entirely because you wasn't thinking about nobody but yourself in that moment, you weren't thinking about the future, whether that's actual generations or whatever, you didn't have the ability to look out, to look beyond that moment, that situation, that circumstance, that experience. And that's a gift, to be able to look out, but to also be able to look up and to fix your eyes, fix your heart, fix your mind on things above. Now, I know that's a scripture, right? So shout out to God. And I had a really good conversation with my dad the other day, and I was like, be honest, did you get here overnight? He's like, I didn't. Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to give me a little bit more grace and time to get there. I understand you want me to be right here where you know it to be right now, how you feel right now. And if we really start talking about relationships and stuff, it could be like that between you and your spouse. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, I know you are. You might have always been there. I'm not there. And they can feel the same way, right? But I had to ask my dad for that the other day. Like, I just need you to give me a second so I can get there. You're trying to make me think like how you think at however old you is, knowing good and well when you was my age, you didn't think like that. So I need you to give me a second to take in what you're saying and get there, sir. But that really is a blessing. And I want to stay focused on that, because as much as they was getting on my nerve this week, I know it's more of the opposite. Like, it's people who come in here and they really do need to see me smile, because they really are going through tough times outside of work. And instead of trying to bring that in and project it on everybody, they just need, a reason to smile, a reason to laugh, somebody to be silly and goofy, and somebody to light up the room. Right? And then it's girls out here who really appreciate, not having to deal with another mean, crazy psycho at work. So I'm going to keep showing up and being that girl and not worried about the ones who don't know what to do with that. So I hope this helps. I hope I didn't talk too much, because I feel like with some of that 6th grade story, but I'm like, who would be watching that? And who would be? Who would be? But I got to work on that too, because for me, I live very out loud and I live in the truth, like I told y'all. So it's like, I don't even be thinking about, like, when I did the blackmail video, that's exactly what I meant. Obviously, I said it. If it came out of my mouth, I did it. And whenever we would have certain beef ever, it screenshot it. I said it. I said it. That's how I am. And so I do kind of got to work on that. There's a lot of things I feel like I got to work on, but I do got to work on that, because if I did it, I did it. You can't be mad if you was the ex who told me to quit my job. You were. Grow up. Be a different person, right? Just like somebody's on there saying, well, Megan, whatever they could possibly say. I don't know what they could say. But whatever Megan said or did or didn't do, okay, well, yeah, I did do it. She just randomly stopped talking to me. I did. I absolutely did. Like, whatever anybody could ever get on here and say I did it. That's why you can't blackmail me. I did do it. Now, I know people lie, which is not what the blackmail video was about, because it was some girl that was really bothered. Are you okay? But I'm not saying people don't lie. Now, obviously, if somebody is saying you did something you did not do, you might want to make sure people know you did not do that, because people do lie and try to spread false information and false narratives. But I'm saying in the situations where I absolutely did it and somebody's trying to blackmail you because they know that you don't want to deal with the consequences, That's what blackmail is. That's what I was talking about. I was not talking about false accusations in that video. I have a video about false accusations. They did me like that at work. I didn't do that. Now, you don't say you did something you didn't do. I know people lie. They do it all the time. And another thing, last thing, literally everything at this level plays out higher levels. I don't know how some of these people got elected or in these. I'm confused. Who put you here? How are you a liar? If this is your job, like what? And it makes sense to me though, because when I was going through all that stuff in my other job, when I did go talk to leadership, I was like, so y'all don't have no type of vetting process for this? Like y'all just put people in leadership roles and don't see if they're good people, if they're stable people, if they're that's crazy to me, but that's the world we live in. They don't. That's why God needs his people in these positions. He needs people who are genuine. He needs people that are truly God fearing. And we see what happens when people are in positions of power. They're not genuine. They're not God fearing. Who let you in? It blows my mind. Like I be reading some stuff online. I be seeing some videos and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And it's like that at work. People try to act like they don't have no say so when who comes in. You're lying because the one organization I work with, I love them down bad. And I told the boss over there, I was like, you can tell you don't play about who you hire because everybody in here is the same. They knows what's acceptable. They know what's not acceptable. They all behave and treat people good. Like, so I don't understand. Like, I feel like when you have, and he's a God-fearing man. That's what I'm saying. So he was able to do that. If you are on a hiring board or anything and you have discernment, I don't care if you ain't never met that person before. You will read somebody's name and it'll be like, nope. You might not even know why. It could be because they're perverted and they like children. Like the stuff we're seeing in the real world. Like nobody's discernment went off. Nobody's. Which really makes you wonder, like, okay. We'll just you need to make sure you straight. You need to make sure you and your husband on the same page when it comes to bringing kids into this world. How y'all are going to love them, how you're going to raise them, how you're going to protect them, what you are going to teach them, and leading them in the way that they should go. Y'all got to be in agreement with that. A man who is immature and acts jealous of you is not a man I'm about to have a kid with. It's a cold world out here. I'm not having your baby. Be for real. A man who cannot take care of himself, govern himself, is not about to govern my house with my kids there. You're not doing it. God, let me skip some stuff when it works. I don't want to, I got my head on the right way. I don't want to say like headstrong, but like I'm too like for you to be playing. It's not going to work. It's real life stuff happening in the world. You need to know where you're going. You need to know how you contribute into the planet, to Earth, to people, to God's kingdom. You need to know all that. I've known all these things for years. You can't come over here and tell me you don't know your purpose. You know what? We too old. We 31. How do you not know what you're supposed to be doing? 31 plus. If I'm dealing with you, how do you not know what you're supposed to be doing? Which goes back to the state of your relationship with the Lord, your quality of your relationship with God, and you need to be focused on that instead of doing some of the other things that these men be out here doing. But I digress. I had a very interesting year. I'm not upset to be. Listen, ain't nobody's insecure, immature, or insincere son about to be stressing me out. I put in way too much work for that. And there's way too much stuff going on in the world for us not to be taking stuff serious. And bad parents will always upset me. I've accepted it. A bad mama who don't watch her kids, who just let her kids be. I'm seeing so much stuff on the internet the last few days. I'm like, I probably need to take a break. Because why you... Okay. Like, that's how okay, I'm not going to be stressed out about it. I got to go pray. It's always a reason to pray. Hey, girlie. Well, I assumed a girl because of pink and red hearts, but... Hi. I'm finna get off and eat, y'all. I love y'all. I hope this is a good girl talk. I feel like it was probably men on here too at some point. Men will get on here at some point. Pray for me. I'll keep praying for y'all. I'm so proud of us for growing and healing. We came a long way. I kind of want to go watch my old Valentine's Day word because it is no telling what I said in that video. I'm kind of scared. But I'm very proud of us for our growth, for our healing. Really just trusting God the process, not quitting the process, not quitting and giving up or letting go of what he told us, because he is not a liar. Okay, God is not a liar. He is a man of his word, and I thank him for that. And I thank him for answering my prayers in ways that I did not anticipate. Like, please don't make that mean you finna do something else that I didn't anticipate. But to pray so earnestly that God would heal not only me, but my husband from the things that we may not even see or know is there or may not even be able to talk about yet. To know how much I prayed that and to see how he took me through there. But again, I realized the triggering was to help me. I'm like, so basically you was answering that prayer. Man, I don't know why I thought you was just gonna be like, Zap healed. He ain't do that. I'm still getting triggered. I'm like, this is crazy. But to know I prayed that sincerely because I wanted to be a healed mom and a healed wife first, then a healed mom. I really thank God for that because I feel like, okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I feel like the people who have hurt me the most or the stuff I've suffered through the most is because people did not have healed parents raising them. Especially if I go back to my dating history, most of them mamas, yeah, no. And so now I had to be, a punching bag for your hurt son. Not cool. Even back to the boy in 6th grade. You ain't telling me his daddy wasn't beating his mama. Why are you doing this? What are you doing? So that's trauma and stuff that he had to deal with. I don't talk about stuff because I'm insensitive. I talk about stuff because the truth really does set us free. But like he was showing me earlier, because I got family who hates that I tell the truth. I got one cousin in particular who thinks I'm so mean because I tell the truth. But that's why all that stuff is slithering around you and your kids, because you can't tell the truth and you think the truth is mean. The truth is protection, not only for you and in setting boundaries, but also for your children. So you can't sit there and tell the truth, ma'am, right? So there's that. But I feel like the world is in the state that it's in because of that. And I will not, women play very important roles, period, in the lives of men, in the lives of children, in countries. What they just play very important roles. And for me to be questioning the type of man that I'm supposed to be submitting to all week, it's like, nah, because I know the type, it don't mean he gonna be perfect. But you ain't gonna be doing some of this stuff that I'm not listening to you. You're not a trustworthy man. I'm not listening to you, period. Like, it's not happening. I'm not doing it. You don't have no discipline. Like, you're not the type of man I'm called to. You know what I'm saying? I'm a leader. I know I'm a leader. And I know the man I'm called to is a leader, a godly leader. So if he's a godly leader, he has godly attributes, just like a godly woman has godly attributes. But the word I gave at church, I don't even know what year that was. It might have been last year for Mother's Day. It was the need of a comforting woman in a cold world, and that really is a Holy Spirit led woman. Your man need that godly man, that godly leader that's known in the city gate. And I think that's why I be like, nah, you ain't for me, because God's already gave me that word. My husband would be known in the city gates, meaning heaven knows him and he sits in certain places on the earth with certain leaders, with certain elders. So you come over here doing all that, I'm like, you're not him. Bye. Like, that immediately irritates me because I know what God has said about my husband. But that type of man, he's who had a Proverbs 31 woman. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know what type of man I'm supposed to be dealing with. I know. I can tell. Like, and you, God ain't showing me where you finna go. I don't see a king in you. I'm not the one for you. Like, I be knowing that. But they need that. And I will also argue with y'all. It's men, and I'm not your wife, but you need to encounter somebody like me. You get what I'm saying? Beyond men, there's women who need to see other women that are like this, right? For various reasons. Maybe she didn't have it in a mother, right? Maybe her mother was horrific to her. My mom was a saint, lover, right? Um, but more than that, it's children, whether I birthed them or not, that need me. And so I can't deal with a man who gonna knock me off my game. And you get what I'm saying? I got somewhere to be. That's part of where I need to be. That's part of my purpose. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I can't be with a man that's jealous and hateful and distracting and sir. Can't do that. So I don't know. I just thank God. I think the world is in shambles though. And we need more praying moms. We need more present moms. We need more moms who tell the truth. But then it's like I tell you, I get mad, but then it's like he already told me I had the eyes to see. It's women who having these kids and they ain't got the eyes to see what's going on. They don't have the eyes to see what's attacking their children. I can't know, which is crazy. Like, so try not to be mad. I'm working on some things. Told y'all. But yeah. The world needs this. It's very evident. Like a narcissistic man. I can't speak for no pervert. You needed like I told y'all, you can take them now, God. That's how I feel about that. I don't have no other thoughts for that. I just don't. But I will say when it comes down to like some fast kids, they need their tail whoops. Yeah. And that bothers me because I feel like I was victim of that. Like, you are overly freaked out, which is demonic, at a young age, whether it's younger, you know what I'm saying? I think some people don't outgrow that. They become adults that are overly freaked out. But then I think there's a difference in that and being a pervert. I really do. But I think you can be an overly freaked out pervert for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get into all that, but that goes back to people not telling the truth. Like that story I keep seeing with this pastor on Facebook and that woman that's sitting up there letting him lie. She need her tail whipped too. Folks ain't getting beat up enough. Like, that's just like I said, the man at work, you keep running your mouth and nobody popped you in it. It's some folks out here that need to be stomped and locked away under the jail for what they've been doing and for what they've been. I don't see it. I don't see it. You need your tail whipped, actually. You do. You do. And I did just finish his and hers. I did finish it last night. And when it comes to me and my kids, it's going down. I told Mark, she's like, so how do you feel now that it's ended? It's going down. Like, don't let it come to my kids. I pray against those things every night. No. Folks too, I don't know what the word is, but like, well, maybe we just act like it doesn't. Megan's not one of those. God didn't put me on earth to be that type of person. And I didn't go through what I went through to be that type of person. And people just, nah, start telling the truth. Start disciplining folks. Start giving some consequences. And then you got people that's in positions of leadership no matter where it is. And it's like, you just a flat out liar. And I just don't understand how liars get leadership roles. You're a liar. You are a liar. Being a liar is not an attribute of God. How are you? You are a liar. One of my kids Sunday, and that's what I'm saying, people don't grow up. One of my kids Sunday, I was overstimulated. I had too many kids right there. He's beating on the table, but his doing all this. I was like, stop. It wasn't me. I was just watching you beat on the table for 2 minutes, and you think just because you dropped, it was you. Got into him for real. Because I don't do that. Your mama obviously don't do that enough either. Because why, sir? I don't do that lying stuff. I do not do lying. You can ask my niece and nephew right now. My nephew know not to lie. He was like, you used to get. I don't play lying. My niece lied to me one time. Once. I said, Trey, tell her Megan don't do lying. And when you lie, she be knowing you lying. And she cried. I don't care. You can cry all you want. We don't raise liars. Ask me, do she lie? No. That's a parent thing. Or guardian thing. Because I'm not their parents. But like, I watch them enough to where I'm allowed to do that. We don't do liars. I don't do bullying. I don't do liars. I don't do none of that in children's hurts. If them kids don't get nothing else from me back there, we don't do that. Don't you ever in your life try to lie to somebody about something I just caught you. I just saw you. Even if I didn't catch you, don't be a liar. That's how people are. Well, they didn't catch me do it, so I can. No, you still a liar. Like, I hate that. Lying turns me up. I've always hated liars. I came out the womb hating liars. I don't like to lie. My daddy do not like to lie. He's not good at lying. You know what type of man I like? Men who can't lie and you tell they uncomfortable with it. Yeah, that's why you need your God-fearing man. So when he get to lying, he start getting ate up. Right, because I know you weren't just trying to lie to me. That's the type of man I got to date. I can't believe I ever dated a man that could just lie and he not flinch. Like, what? Your mama didn't whoop you enough. Your mom did not whoop you enough for lying? That makes me feel dirty. How you just gonna lie? And we got people in charge of people working for the justice system that just lie. How are you sitting up there lying like this? That's what I'm saying. You live down here. This is the Lululand. Megan ain't never lived down there. This is what happened. This is what was said. I got like a tape recorder mine. It used to make my parents upset because what you're not gonna do is come up here and act like that's not what you said, because that is what you said. That's what you said. That's what you did. Don't lie about it later. That's why I can't handle no narcissistic man. You ain't finna be gaslighting me. I know you did say that, and I'm not finna be screenshotting our whole conversation. You said that, you liar. Your mama didn't whoop you, and I'm not raising nobody's son. I'll raise mine, but I'm not raising nobody else's. Let me get off here because I could go on for days. Me and my parents been having some really good conversations, and I think my daddy is like, "Oh, she's serious." Oh, I'm serious. I'm not raising nobody's son. That was your mama's job. Somebody failed along the way, and it wasn't me, and I'm not picking that up. I'm not. My daddy was hard on us, very hard on us, but seeing the type of adult I am, I'm like, nah, I'm glad you was hard on me, because there's some people out here who really don't have no sense, who really don't know how to act. And I would have preferred you put more pressure on me, especially since I'm out of it now, and you push me to be a good, decent human being, versus somebody out here that's grown as I don't know what and can't handle responsibility, can't tell the truth. No, absolutely not. All right, let me go eat my food and finish watching Captain Marvel. I love y'all. Bye.